And welcome everyone to Nerd TV for another full throttle sim racing Mach-1 Performance Cup Series race, coming at you live from the stimulated Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We're going to go 167 laps around this 1.5 mile speedway. And on the screen right now is the weather, a little bit cooler as we're starting to creep into the fall temperatures. 86 on the track, 65 in the skies, which is going to be nice there. 26% humidity, partly cloudy and no wind essentially. So these guys are going to be all set up. No weather related issues here this evening. My name is Jeremy Stanley, aka Jay Swifty. And to my right hand side, Mr. Jason Rockefeller. How's it going this Monday night?
Doing good, man. I'm ready for some Las Vegas Motor Speedway action here. Ready to see who's going to roll the dice and possibly bring home a victory. We'll see what luck is in store for some of these drivers here tonight, because you either go all in or you go all out.
Yeah, it's the round of 8. So we got 3 races here, and then we're going to take it off to the final race. So 4 races, 4 weeks remaining in this 2023 season for the Mach-1 Performance Cup Series. And points have been reset. So for those joining in right now, just quickly recap those. Richie Coy leading everybody by 10 points at least. Jeff Chandler, second place, 10 points out. Third place, Brody Hanna, 14. Chad Lang above the cutout line at 15 points back. And then fifth place, Robert Malikian is 5 points outside of that and negative 20. Stephen Allen, 23 back. Michael Blackner, 23 back as well. And Jamie Nutt, 24 back. So that is your round of 8 for these next 3 races. A lot more tame 3-race schedule, Jason, than last round of 12 there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we go from here this weekend, then to the Homestead Miami Speedway, and then we go to the Martinsville Speedway. 3 totally different tracks, obviously. I mean, you can kind of compare Homestead and this track, kind of, but at the same time, they're not really the same at all, Jeremy. You have a tri-oval 1.5 miles, and then you have that, typical, old-fashioned regular, oval that, it's a little bit more banked, and, it's progressional banking and stuff like that. It's going to be interesting to see. I think Martinsville will be one to watch for sure, because we know in the iRacing world that can become a crapshoot, in a sense, kind of like how Bristol was earlier this year, right at the beginning of the playoffs. But I think that these 3 races, if you want to make sure that you're a driver outside of this round of 8, like Robert Milicki and Stephen Allen, Michael Blackner, Jamie Knopf, you have to make sure that you have a good 3 races, because from first to 8th, they're only separated by 24 points. You have to make sure that you get up on the horse and you do super, super well here these next 3 races.
Hey, don't make sure you tamper with those rear dampeners right there, right, Jason?
Oh, yeah.
If you didn't know, that was a Ryan Blaney reference, those who's watching. But we got about 2 minutes left here in this practice. And you mentioned Martinsville. It's a terrible short track thing right now with the next-gen cars. But online here on iRacing, it's a lot different. It gets a lot crazier. Usually the most times we watch Martinsville, it sets the record for an entire season of cautions. So that could really change up some things. And here at Las Vegas, I've actually noticed, Jason, there's a lot of cars out here that are getting loose and tough to handle. So it's just going over these bumps. This next-gen car is much stiffer suspension, and especially in 1 and 2, Las Vegas is pretty bumpy. And at least for me personally, I've seen a lot of cars get sideways in the center of 1 and 2, then off exit.
Yeah, obviously the 2 troublesome spots here on the racetrack is coming through the center of 1 and 2, because you kind of hit those bumps. You don't want to be directly on the bottom. Sure, it might be the fastest route around the racetrack, for a typical 1.5 mile style racetrack, but a lot of guys tend to kind of run the middle, and it really isn't as bumpy. Don't get me wrong, there's still bumps in the center of that racetrack, but not nearly as much on the bottom. That's why you see when we go to qualifying, you're probably going to see some guys run the bottom who think they can run full throttle all the way down there. Or there's going to be some guys who might run the middle, like you saw on Saturday morning for the Cup Series qualifying guys. It's going to be probably the same exact way. And then obviously coming off turn 4, a lot of guys kind of misjudge that they're going to be clear and whatnot. We've seen a lot of incidents here over the last 2 years with this car in particular, just because the runs are so ginormous off the corners. The draft actually plays effect, and how much downforce there is, and one wrong move, and next thing you know, you could take somebody's air away, you can get them loose, you can take your own air away, you can get tight. and hit that wall. There's a lot of factors that are coming into tonight. I think that if you win this race tonight, you definitely make a statement for yourself, because this is not the easiest mile-and-a-half track to drive. You have to conserve tires, you have to pick your lane, and obviously you have to be mindful of others around you, just like any other weekend.
Yeah, it also makes it quite fun for our producer Dustin Logston, which, as you guys know by now, if there is a Nerd TV broadcast, Dustin Logston is behind the scenes working the cameras and whatnot. So again, just appreciation to you. And I know Jason and I are going to make your jobs probably a little more difficult tonight than some other cookie cutters, but I know you're getting paid the big bucks to do so. So we'll let you go ahead and do that. And we're going to jump it over to qualifying here. Fastest person on the track, one of the chase drivers, the last one, 8th place, is the 25 back from the cut or from the points lead is Jamie Knopp in the 84. So fastest in practice, and he's looking to have a breakthrough race here tonight to kind of get up there, because right now he's 10 back of being above the cut line. So he needs 2 really solid races and a third race to kind of hold himself in. And so we'll see if he gets on track. But right now, I think actually what we're going to do is jump over to second place fastest, Danny LaFleur in the 99. He's already on track and on lap 1 right now.
Yeah, and Danny's been doing really, really solid here these last few weeks or whatnot. You know, ever since he really joined, he's had some instances, don't get me wrong, but he's been really, really fast, obviously. One of those guys over from the Moreau camp, and, you know, just a solid driver. I think he's definitely got what it takes here to close out possibly with a win in these last 4 races of the season. Remember, tonight, then we have Homestead, Martinsville, and then Phoenix for the championship race. I think he could be a driver to look out for, who could probably spoil the playoff picture, take a few points away for some guys for sure. You know, but you mentioned before, Jeremy, you mentioned Jamie Knopp, by the way. You know, sitting in 8th right now. He's about 9 points below the cutoff line right now. You know, he's minus 24 back from the leader. You know, again, one wrong move by Richie Coy, Jeff Chandler tonight, they end up on the hook at the end of this race. They're going to find themselves below this cutoff for sure, and they're going to put themselves possibly in a position where they have to go out to the Homestead and Martinsville and do good, or, you know, option B is to win, and everybody wants to win. But I think if Jamie definitely shows that pure speed like he had in practice, I think he's definitely going to be a force to reckon with. And he very well could jump from 8th all the way up to the advanced spot in P1 by the end of the tonight. He's also been very, very strong on these mile-and-a-halves here in the second half of the season. I expect Jamie to do great things tonight.
Yeah, I do too, as well as we're on board here. Jose Acosta there in the 24 across the line for his first lap. And here is your practice winner, Jamie Knopp. Gets the line. This is for his green flag. So we're going to see if he goes over the bumps here on the top, which he does, which is very common. You would think you would want to go to the bottom here in any oval when you have fresh tires for qualifying, but it's just so bumpy in the bottom half of the track. A lot of these guys in this race and in qualifying are going to elect to take the upper half of the track, and he's going to just forego the first lap. He's going to go all for second one, because there's not as much speed on the top of 3 and 4 to my knowledge. So this will be his money lap here.
Yeah, definitely. That's usually what you want to do here at the mile-and-a-halves, is run that middle to top lane here, and he's going to run. He's going to try to get to that bottom, but he's not going to get down there fully. Again, you could just see how bumpy it was heading through the center of 1 and 2, down the Nellis back straightaway there. Obviously, Nellis Air Force Base right behind that fence. And then there's Jamie Knopp going down to the corner. He's not going to get the entry he wants. Kind of gets tight through center, drifts up the track a little bit. He's going to try to get down to the apron right here. I think Jamie Knopp definitely going to be a top 5 run.
What's in it? 29.361. So right now, out of all the qualifiers, going to put him right around 6th place. And right now we're on board. Looks like Joseph Grijalva.
He's back.
He's ready to, he's back for round 2 here for the FTSR Mach-1 Performance Cup Series. And speaking of Joseph here, Father Joe Grijalva is on the chats on YouTube, saying El Paso is ready. Go Army. And then I see Doyle Lawrence on there as well, saying hello nerds, which is myself, Jason, and Dustin. And always saying let's go Jeff Chandler. And he's a pretty good pick, because right now he is P1 in qualifying.
Yeah, and this was a thing that I wrote in my notes too, Jeremy, before tonight's race, was Jeff Chandler versus Richie Coy. Those two have been the dominators when it has come to these mile-and-a-half tracks pretty much all of the second half of this season. You think about Texas just a few weeks ago. who was right there at the end, Richie Coy and Jeff Chandler. Richie just barely beat out Jeff Chandler after beating and banging with Jose Acosta coming to line off turn 4 on the last lap. So I think if there's somebody who could make a statement to show Richie Coy that, hey, I've got something for you, it's Jeff Chandler. We've seen him consistently all season long since he came about, that he's just really shown that pure speed. Obviously, he's got the help behind him, obviously with Elliott Sadler Esports, and his team behind him here. I think that Jeff Chandler is definitely going to be a guy who could probably go out and more than likely win this championship if it's not Richie Coy.
Yeah, Chandler's obviously got some speed, and now he's backed by Elliott Sadler Esports, which, when you race anything virtual in the real world, momentum's so huge, right? And so when you ride that wave of a signing of a team like that, he's going to be a contender for sure in these final 4 races, and it'll definitely show here this evening. It is time for race. These cars are starting to light up on the grid. We're going to let them go a few more cars here, then we will have Dustin Rowe take the camera 180, and we're going to go the classic camera down the grid, but on the track. So Dustin's got the brave cameraman out there to get this job done for us. And there they go. Looks like most of them are in. Nice little shake. We're ready to go. Jeff Chandler, P1 there on the inside. Danny LaFleur is second. Jose Acosta starts in third. Nicholas Moreau in new colors will be in fourth. Brody Hanna fifth. Michael Blackner sixth. Jamie Knopp in seventh. Richie Coy in eighth. Ben Tracy will start in ninth. And your 10th place starting driver is Daniel Simmons.
And then we got your top 20, 11th, Robert Malicki. And when can he get it done? He's looking to get himself into the final 4. 12th, you have Joshua Johnson, the 57th. 13th goes to Chris Beck. 14th, Stephen Hollingsworth, who's been kind of on a barn burner here these last few weeks. Then you have 15th, Wayne Grossi in the number 7 machine. 16th rather, goes to the 17 of Steve Loomis. 17th, Sherwood Williford in the 33. 18th is TJ Bartel. 19th, Ryan Chapman, one of our IROC 93.5 onboard drivers here tonight. And rounding out the top 20, Lane Allen, another playoff guy in the number 14.
21st will be Colby Mice. 22nd, Chad Lang. 23rd, Joseph Cravala. 24th, Tony Solari. 25th on back, did not qualify, so Fred Moreau, James Wallace, Brian Dublé, Ryan Hedrick, Justin Diltz, and Colton Goma, the 10, will round out tonight's 30-car lineup here for the Mach-1 Performance Series. And good field. We got 4 races to the end. I know drivers like to pick up toward the end of the season, but seeing a 3 to start the number of drivers here, it's a pretty cool sight to see.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, too, if there's definitely going to be 2 drivers I'm keeping an eye out for here today, for sure, Jeremy. Number 1, Jose Acosta. How can this guy keep losing a race? He has been right there ever since he came into the Mach-1 Performance Cup Series. I think that driver, the number 24 machine, is going to be very, very stout here tonight. We know how good he's been on these mile-and-a-half tracks. That Jeff Gordon Fonta, number 24 machine, I think can get the job done. And then if you look all the way back around the third to last row, you have Fred Moreau in that number 5, the previous Las Vegas winner, back from Season A earlier this season. Not necessarily an underdog, but a guy who we definitely have to keep our eye on because we know how good those Moreau guys are.
Fred especially, he can pass a bunch of cars early on. Don't be surprised before we get to stage break on lap 55 that you will see Fred Moreau pass maybe 15 cars at least to put himself into the top 10. We'll find that out though. So that is your reminder. Stage break at 55, and we're going to full 167 to end this thing off tonight. Pace car is about to dip down to pit road. Jeff Chandler has the authority to go as soon as he gets to that Geico restart zone. We're just going to wait patiently for the green flag to fly, and there we are. Race is officially underway. Jeff Chandler gets a great start over the Nana LaFleur. Already clears him. Top 3 can be single file. Looks like Jose Acosta is going to take the bottom here, running side by side with the 99, and I think for the opening lap he's going to be able to take that spot. Brody Hanna sees the door open. He's going to not be able to make that move happen, but everybody else behind them still 2x2 on the backstretch.
A little bit of shuffling going on ever since the drop of the green flag here. Just 3/4 of a lap to go. They head into 3 and 4. And here comes Nicholas Moreau using that top lane to his advantage. Gets a little bit loose off turn number 4. He'll file right in front of the Jamie Knopp 84 machine there. Across the line, Jeff Chandler leads that time by here on the opening lap. And as they file down into 1 and 2, everybody picking bottom, middle, top lane. They're all over the place here off turn 2.
Yeah, Nicholas Moreau there in the 15, first person to go to the very top of the track there. Currently runs in 5th place right behind Brody Hanna. Brody runs to the middle of 3 and 4 to try to get to the outside of Moreau's teammate, Danny LaFleur. He's going to hold side by side as they go across the start-finish line to complete lap number 2.
Yeah, and here comes Danny LaFleur to the inside, trying to pick that position back up away from Brody Hanna. Gets a little tight. Oh, they make contact. Up the racetrack they go. The 23 in 99. Door bang twice, 3 times. And as they go back into 3 and 4, it holds up the rest of the field behind them. They're all double wide this time through 3 and 4, holding up that number 15 of Nicholas Moreau, along with Jamie Knopp on the outside as well, heading back down into 1.
Glad to see those cars are solid there as they made the contact. Usually air pockets can affect things, but this time did not. They keep it going. Brody Hanna passes the 99 of LaFleur in turns 1 and 2. He's going to resume himself back into 3rd place. Little bundle of cars here led by LaFleur now. Side by side, Moreau and Jamie Knopp. And then right behind them, you got Ben Tracy and Richie Coy. And then Wayne Grossi and everybody else really behind them, still just 2 by 2 by 2. Good stuff here for the first 4 laps.
It's like we just had another restart, Jeremy. These guys are still double wide, 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 throughout this entire field practically. And you see a nice little battle there between Richie Coy, Jamie Knopp. You also have Grossi battling with Malicki, and then behind them you have Blackner, Johnson, so many. Oh, Moreau gets a little bit tight through the center of 3 and 4. It's going to open up the door for Richie Coy to try to make it 3 wide. He thought about it for a moment. He tucks back in line, though. Now Moreau and Knopp go side by side once more here for another lap as they go into 1.
LaFleur gets around Jose Acosta. That moves him to P3. And now Jose is in 4th and maybe falling back to the 15. LaFleur's teammate Nicholas Moreau. Jamie Knopp is only a half a bumper away from maybe passing the 15 here. He's going to look to the top as Richie Coy gets to the bottom of him. They slide up out of turn number 4. They still hold side by side to the top 15.
And there goes Brody Hanna taking away that race lead from Jeff Chandler into 1 and 2. And we know how good that 31 of Jeff Chandler is usually on those long runs. We've seen it here. He was a guy who kind of, it was kind of Jeff, not Jeff, but Jeremy, like either or. It kind of was a hit or miss for Jeff Chandler, whether it be a long run or a short run here for most of the season. But ever since the second half of the season, this 31 machine has been very, very strong on the long runs. I know he usually works on those setups a little bit towards the longer run portion. He just likes the way that the tires feel out. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that 31 drop a couple more positions, but at the end of this run, find himself back up in P1.
3 wide there, 67 or 87 rather, in the middle there. I do believe they're still 3 wide, and they go finally 2 wide halfway down the back straightaway. And to second on that one, Doyle Lawrence did confirm it is a long run setup. It's still 3 wide here. Contact made by, it looks like 57 of Joshua Johnson as they go back to 2 wide here. And Jason, they are still 2 by 2 by 2 for the back, or for the top 15 cars rather.
Yeah, and it amazes me that these guys are still side by side. But that's the thing about this mile-and-a-half package, Jeremy, for these next-gen cars, is we took some of the worst tracks and made them some of the best tracks with this new car that debuted in 2022. Look at the racing we got up ahead of our IROC 93.5 driver Ryan Chapman. They were 2, 3, almost 4 wide for a moment coming off of turn 4, and you can just see that the mile-and-a-half package for this next-gen car, it just works. Nobody is really able to get away depending on the track. I mean, well, Texas, I guess you could say. But most other mile-and-a-halves, it's just you have everybody bunched up. You look at yesterday's Cup race on Sunday here at Las Vegas. The top 6 were separated by no more than 1.2 seconds at one point towards the end of the stage. And that wasn't just for a few laps. That was for multiple laps. And you're seeing the exact same thing here tonight.
Yeah, 100% here. Jeff Chandler trying to regain back into the top 3. Could not get it off turn number 2. So Jose is going to resume here, still in 4th place rather, as he's now side by side by Ben Tracy in that 8 car up several spots. He's moving his way through the field here, but still 2 by 2 by 2, kind of a little thin around 10th place. But then right behind them, they're still 2 by 2 by 2 at the line to get to about 16th or 18th. They're single fouled out right now. turns 1 and 2 right now. It looks like the top 6 or 7, they're finally going to go single file here as we're looking at the 25 on Hollingsworth and the 7 of Wayne Grassi. That's your first 2x2 here. Richie and Ryan Chapman look to go to the top half of the track. Ryan Chapman gets really loose, almost makes door contact to the 57 as they get to the front stretch.
Everybody's getting super, super loose there off turn number 4. Definitely going to be a corner we'll have to watch as these tires wear out on these 30 to 35, 40 lap runs. We saw that continuously yesterday. Obviously a Goodyear issue with those right rears. We saw them blowing out. That will not be the case today, but still, tire degradation will be a key factor here. Obviously, you see so many guys as these runs progress here at Vegas get very, very tight off turn number 4. You just have such a hard time controlling that race car coming off those corners. Turn 2, different story. Turn 4, on the other hand, that's the place you're going to have to watch. A little bit of contact back here. That's Josh Johnson and also Joseph Grijalva in that number 12 machine. He is the biggest mover so far. He's already up 10 spots after starting 23rd.
Excellent drive here from the 12 to go through this field, and we've already notated multiple times it is a lot of 2x2. So the fact that he's able to make up so many positions so early on, really just shows how fast his car is. And I mentioned Fred Moreau before the green flag. He was going to move up. He only moved up 2 spots in the first 15 laps, so he's really not having the start of the race that he was expecting to have, at least we've seen from the normal. And then I'm going to jump to the lead. Oh, we got contact. Danny LaFleur and Brody Hanna get sideways through turns 3. It looks like LaFleur's drifted up and made left rear contact, but somehow Brody has an excellent job behind the wheel to keep that thing going straight, but it's going to cost him some momentum as Jose Acosta now is going to attack for the race lead on the top of 1 and 2.
Hannah's going to get a little bit tight there, nearly got up into the left door of the 24 machine. That sends him way wide up the racetrack. LaFleur thought about going 3 wide for just a split second through the middle. He's going to be able to hang it back on the top side, but Jose Acosta, heck of a run off turn number 2, and he gets away from the field by about 2 to 3, 4, maybe even 5 car lengths this time by at the line as they come into 1 and 2.
That's some crazy racing here. 99.23 still door to door, really close right now. They got into turn 1, gives themselves some separation there in the center of 1 and 2, but this looks like it's a heat race more so than a long run race, as we're still just beating and banging side by side here. Getting through turns 3, it looks like Hollingsworth and Brody Hanna are going to remain side by side as Danny LaFleur does pass and get second place all by himself here. Looks like Brody's slightly loose there in the bottom of turn 4, able to keep that momentum on the inside of Stephen Hollingsworth as they get to 1.
And where did Stephen Hollingsworth come from? He's going to the top almost 3 wide. He'll go to the top side on Brody Hanna, this time off turn number 2. Looks like he's going to take away that spot from the 23 as the 99. Oh, turn 23, the 15 does, right in front of the field. And everybody looks to save it. No, they don't. Nicholas Moreau goes around. And now they all save it. And boy, oh boy, Jeremy, that could have been very, very ugly. Oh, and some more contact after the start-finish line there between Brody Hanna and Ben Tracy as we're under the first caution of the night.
Yeah, there was some movement there on the back straight. It looks like Brody went to go make the corner super early or cut off the 15's nose, and it sent the 23 slideways around the corner. And yeah, right in front of us, still really checked up field. You see 31 of Jeff Chandler. He got loose, thankfully, did not make contact to the inside wall. So no harm, no foul for the 31. That involved the 19 of Richie Coy and a couple others here. We're going to take another look. If we can do a little VHS rewind there, Dustin, we'll see exactly the moment of contact down the back straightaway. We're going to see the 23 move up, the 15 come down. They're going to cross over. He's got the lane shift, and the 23 comes down with him, and just there's no room. So he made the contact there, and like I said, thankfully there was not a lot more carnage involved in this one, because this could have been huge.
Yeah, that's 100% on Brody Hanna right there, no doubt about it. Down the back straightaway, you can't not be that early blocking like that. You just can't. I know that the 15 rather had the run down the back straightaway. You wanted to try to block it, but the guy already had about a tire width probably in on your quarter panel. You just cannot be making a mistake like that at all. And that's 1, 2, 3 playoff drivers that were involved. in that wreck right there. And not to mention the fact that that was your top 3 in the playoffs. You're going to see right here the 15 go to the bottom. The 23 tries to cut him off. And obviously, Nicholas, he's going to hold his line right there. He's only going down so much. And Brody just keeps coming further and further down the racetrack until he just turns him right in front of the field, right in front of his Fury Motorsports teammate, collects Richie Coy, and then you see Jeff Chandler. And this is where I thought that Jeff Chandler was going to hit that inside wall. That could have been huge, but your top 3 playoff drivers, man, oh man, close call there early on.
Yeah, super close call there. We're going to ride on board. It looks like Colton Gum here in the 10. As you see the 2 teammates of Fury Motorsports, Richie and Brody, make the contact there right to his outside panel. That's actually Malikian. I do apologize there. As you get the little 360 roof camera going on there. Then you get to the inside and you see the 15 trying to hold on to it. And it has assistance from Ben Tracy to keep his car going straight. And then Jeff Chandler hits that transition onto the apron. And to Doyle, to answer your question, no, there's no damage to the 31. He just got loose there on that transition, did not hit anything. It's no harm, no foul on the 31. But yeah, a couple trace divers for sure. And it doesn't look like there's much damage to anybody. So I think we're good to go and just getting 4 virtual Goodyear slapped onto your car. Maybe pull out a fender at most. And we have 3/4 of a lap left, Jason, before we go back to green flag on 22.
Yeah, heads up driving by Jeff Chandler, by the way, to be able to save that race car. Lock all 4 tires down because that could have been a moment like if you think about back with Ryan Blaney at Nashville earlier this year. That car got sideways, went through the grass. He was on the brakes and then let off to try to overcorrect it. Next thing you know, he found himself in the wall, and that could have been the exact same case for Jeff Chandler, but he decided to be smart, crank that wheel, and just hold the brakes until he felt it slowing up, then let off, let the wheel crank back to the right, and the car do its thing. So great job by Jeff Chandler. By the way, here, coming to the restart, we have 6 drivers that stayed out, that being 1 through 6. You have Acosta, Hollingsworth, Chapman, Bartel, Solari, and Colby Mice there. So we're going to see here what 15, 18, 20 lap older tires do compared to fresh new ones.
That was crazy on that restart. This might be just as crazy, if not more. Green flag is out. We're back underway. 24 and the 25 dead heat at the line. They're equal restarts. Ryan Chapman up 16 spots. He's looking to go to the inside of Hollingsworth. Don't know if he's going to be able to make it on corner X. It does not look like a TJ Bartel in the 77. Also up 14 spots. He's now looking to the inside of Ryan Chapman to try to take third.
And he'll go down to the bottom now into 3 and 4. It looks like Bartel's going to be able to complete that pass as the 27 uses the top lane, crosses down below the seam to get the run off the corner. Just not enough. But back to the race lead. Hollingsworth, Acosta side by side. Give it to Hollingsworth that time by at the line this time as they're still double wide heading into the center of 1 and 2.
Some good stuff right now. Top 4, a little bit of a breakaway between them, and they got the 11 of Tony Solari and the 9 of Colby Meister. A few car lengths back there. That's for 5th, 6th, 7th, and everybody else behind them. As Ryan Chapman goes all the way up to the white wall to run that lane, and also the 12 as well of Joseph Grijalva. They both make it work there as he still remain exactly where they were in their turn number 3. So the outside lane has already got some grip built up into it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the outside really doesn't work in 1 and 2 as much as it does in 3 and 4, and that's just because of obviously those bumps and the dirty stuff up there at the top of the racetrack in 1 and 2. We saw that a lot on Sunday. Not a lot of guys going to the very top lane, and and if you really try to, Jeremy, on Sunday, like Ross Chastain did not once but twice, you saw a lot of guys getting squirrely up there, getting tight, nearly hitting the wall through the center and all the way off at turn number 2. And then in 3 and 4, you can run that top lane to a certain degree, obviously, as the run progresses and that top lane gets built in with rubber. But you're seeing a lot of guys use the very, very top side very early on.
I watched Ryan Chapman last lap run the top of 1 and 2, and it really amazed me how much he was able to gain momentum on the 77. He's now completed that pass as TJ Bartel starts to slide back a little bit. And the fresher tires are starting to prevail, I do believe, here. We've seen the 11 of Tony Solari. He's making some huge gains with the 22 of Malikian right behind him. They get to the top side of Ryan Chapman. We're going to pass him almost like he's sitting still there down the back straightaway. getting to turns 3 and 4. They're still going to run the middle lane, but the top the top 3 rather going to run the bottom half of the track in 3 and 4. As they go 3 to 4 wide. Joseph rather got really loose there in the back, somehow saved it. They still remain 3 wide after that.
Heck of a save there by Joseph Grijalva off turn number 4. Oh, and he's sideways through the center of 1 and 2. Boy, oh boy, talk about 2 fantastic saves in a row. Nearly lost it off 4 just a half a lap ago, and then nearly loses it heading into 1. Great job by the driver, that number 12 machine, as he heads into 3 and 4. Still trying to run that top side. He might get loose again here off the corner. Gets a tad loose, not as loose as he did 1 lap ago, but a great recovery for the driver of the 12.
Tells me if he's loose on the top, you know he's really loose on the bottom. So his car is almost forced to run to the top half of the track to keep that thing stable. 3 wide on the bottom half of the track. The 14 makes a little contact there as they remain straight down the back straightaway. Sends him back to 2 wide though. And then now you see Jeff Chandler making some gains past the 9 Colby Mice there. Stephen Allen there in the 14 is going to do the same exact thing on Colby there. And then we're going to go 3 wide here. It looks like Ben Tracy in the middle of a sandwich with Richie Coy on the bottom. They go back to 2 wide going through 1 and 2.
I feel like I'm watching a less restricted tapered spacer race at Atlanta Motor Speedway, but this time it's at Vegas, and here we go. The 33 of Williford, they're going to split the 67 machine of James Wallace there in the middle, and the 33, Brody Hanna up in front of the field, overcorrects right in front of Jeff Chandler and others, I believe. Lots of cars involved. Ryan Chapman slows it down, and the 23 car just snaps coming off turn number 4 and brings out the second caution of the day.
I have to correct you on that one. That was the 44 there of Chris Beck that they came right in front of there. As the 31 Jeff Chandler goes to the grass a little bit, completely unscathed on that one. It's a great heads up on his part. We had a 23 just late corner exit of 4 there, snapped on a 3 wide, and that's definitely no good. Just destroyed the 27 Ryan Chapman. His luck just continues to get worse and worse and worse. You see Chris Beck in the 44. He gets involved a little bit, not terrible. You see the 14 sneak by on your screen. Right there he is once more. And that was your on board view there, the 31 Jeff Chandler.
Yeah, great job. Both of them are silver cars here tonight. Chris Beck driving a silver car compared to his usual Air Force, Navy, or not Navy, but Army Green number 44 machine. And man, what a hit there for the 23 and 67. I mean, nothing of Brody Hanna's doing wrong. I would assume that some of that damage probably played a factor into him getting loose coming off turn number 4 from the previous caution. But we talked about it, Jeremy, earlier, and I've stressed it enough, is that off turn 4, you could see guys either get loose early in a run or get tight in the end of a run there. And that's unfortunate, which happened with the 23 machine. And boy, oh boy, he overcorrects it hard into that left front fender of James Wallace. Both of them nearly get sent over. And boy, oh boy, Chris Beck, Ryan Chapman, just nowhere to go. And this is more than likely going to knock out that 23 for the time being. So it looks like when he heads into Homestead and Martinsville, he's going to need to prevail for sure here if he wants to make his way into the Championship 4.
Yeah, that's absolutely huge there. Just not having any luck here this evening. And I think I saw his right front maybe come apart a little bit, so that's going to be a required repair if I'm correct on that notion. That hit was so hard, Jason. It lifted at least 2 wheels, if not 3, up off the ground when he hit that outside wall and exit of 4. We're going to take it to our first picture-in-picture. It's going to be a little shortened one, and we'll be right back before the drop of the green flag for the 3rd time this evening. As we're about to go to green flag action here on lap number 34. The restarter is going to be Robert Maliki in the 22 is going to be P1, Daniel LaFleur in second place in the 99 as Michael Blackner third, Jamie Knopp fourth, and Stephen Hollingsworth is your top five on this restart here. Pace car is down. 99 LaFleur having some blinking issues on my end. I think he's all safe on your guys' end. Green flag is out once more here, and we have just over 20 laps before we get the stage break. And Jason, do we see more of the same?
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to see more of the same. Hopefully we don't hear more of the same, so you better keep that pet duck of yours in that cage. But hopefully we don't see any more wrecking possibly, because, I mean, these guys have been really, really hectic on these previous two restarts. I think that this is probably not going to be the last of the aggression that we see here to the end of this stage. You just saw Daniel LaFleur pull a huge block on Jamie Knopp going into 3 and 4. That could lose Jamie Knopp the fourth position here as Lag looks to the outside. He'll clear him coming into 1.
The top 6 single file. Everybody else in this entire field almost back. The 2x2 still after a lap on this restart here. Doyle Lawrence saying completely biased opinion that Jeff Chandler's car looks better than Chris Beck's. Well, because you painted it. And that's a very good reason why I would have to agree with you on that notion. I think my cars look great too. So, there's that. But 3 wide here, 19 of Richie Coy. He's in the middle of the 8 of Ben Tracy. And the other car there, I think it's the 06 of Daniel Simmons. As the reflections on this game is just so good these days, I can hardly tell. There's still 3 wide. Looks like the 8's going to give it up. Ooh, Tony Solari squeezes his teammate there in the middle. 4 wide momentarily, as you just said that. They go back to 2 wide and 3.
Yeah, that could have been really, really hectic. We saw Ben Tracy get super loose about halfway down the Nellis back straightaway there, and Tony Solari looked like he almost made some contact with his teammate. But look at Richie Coy absolutely flying through this field right now in that number 19 machine. One of those guys who came in to the pits, obviously pretty justified considering the fact that he wrecked one car in the wall down the back straightaway. I believe that might have been Michael Blackner, possibly. Saw one car slap off the corner there. But man, oh man, Jeremy, there is so much racing going on here throughout this entire field.
It really was. I didn't see that initial contact, so I couldn't tell you. I can also tell you that the 23 Brody Hanna did not have that required repair like I thought he did. So he's already back on the track, and he's only 1 lap down. And his car looks pretty okay, minus his right side. And he's the only car 1 lap down. So if we get another caution between now and stage end, or even at stage break rather, Brody Hanna's your lucky dog, puts himself back on the lead lap. He's got to make sure his performance is there, or else, he's going to be contending back here and outside the top 20. Right now, it looks like he's just kind of hanging out, no reason to go through the field. So we're going to move back up through the field here, a little more single filed out than what we've seen it from this whole race period, as there's some movement inside the top 5.
Yeah, lots of guys just all over this racetrack right now trying to find every piece of real estate to try and find every single point. Robert Malikian needs points. Michael Blackner needs points. Jamie Knopp definitely needs some points. And also Lane Allen. But Lane finds himself in 16th right now. This stage is going to end at lap 55, or after lap 55 rather. So I think if Lane really wants to try to get a little bit of stage points and try to kind of, make up some ground on the guys in front of him in the playoffs, he's going to have to save his tires. He's going to have to come to this field pretty quickly.
3 of our top 5 are in the running here inside the round of 8. That's Chad Lang, Jamie Knopp, and Michael Blackner, as they are 2, 3, and 4 on the boards. But they're all running side by side right now. They got LaFleur with them there as they get down the back straightaway here. It looks like the 87 Blackner is going to clear Chad Lang at least momentarily as he runs the 3rd groove up into the corner. Chad Lang holds the bottom, washes up a little bit, has to lift, and it should get the momentum swinging back to Michael Blackner. Instead, he hit the line. It looks like 4 got him that time, but Robert Malikian is enjoying this view. He's got himself a 5-car separation through 1 and 2.
Yeah, great run for that 22 of Robert Malikian to be able to pull away just a little bit by these guys going side by side. And this helps him, man. You want these guys to stay side by side for as long as you can, because then they have to use up their stuff once they do get clear of one another like Chad Lang might do here to Michael Blackner off forward. He will, I believe, but they're still side by side from here on this back bumper cam from what it looks like. This is just enabling Robert to get out further and further ahead, and these points would be huge for the driver, the number 22. Oh, Chad Lang hit the apron a little bit. He gets tight, or loose rather, gets right up in front of the field. Now they're 2-3 wide, back to 2, while everybody files out to the top. Chad Lang will stick to the bottom. Here comes Daniel LaFleur. He'll look to the inside of Michael Blackner's Dale Jarrett UPS machine.
Chad Lang still loose, and after that turn 1 there, Michael Blackner actually didn't realize that Chad did not want to go to the bottom. They made door contact, and that's what upset the 4 car all the way around 1 and 2, and then the tires a little bit overheated, got through 3 and 4 and had to overcorrect as well, so he's dropped back 2 spots from last lap's little shenanigans there on his end. But they're all, looks like single file for the most part. They get to turn 3, and now here they go. They're all staggered out once more in the middle, the top, the bottom. This track has really opened up as far as your racing ability on either lane that you choose. They come across the line this time to complete lap 44. We have 11 laps to go before stage.
Great battling up inside this top 10, especially back here for the battle for 3rd and 4th. Michael Blackner, Daniel Simmons, Jamie Knopp, so many guys. Look at this gaggle of traffic. They're all going to be fighting for stage points here as they head into 3 and 4. Knopp will head down to the inside of Blackner this time off turn number 4. Lang will pull the crossover on Simmons. He'll head down to the bottom while Knopp utilizes the apron to his advantage. Who's going to get stage points? Who's going to get the amount that they most deserve for the heading into turns 1 and 2 here on lap 46?
84, 87 in the 4. All those guys are doing a hell of a job right now to maximize this first part of the race for the round of 8. As now we got under 10 laps to go on this part. You see the 33 Williford. He's moved up really high on the track. He was out of the round of 12, so no longer in it for the championship, but putting on a pretty strong performance for that 33 inside the top 10 this evening. And it looks like everyone else just kind of, you know, spaced themselves out. This is kind of weird. We're seeing 1 3 wide right now and a couple 2 wides, and it just looks like there's just kind of open up the gap a little bit more as they're down the back straightaway here on lap 47. Looks like the 17, 33, they're going to really extend the corner or entrance. 27 Chapman, he's got his car repaired. He's doing the same thing. Jose Acosta gets loose through 3 and 4 as they cross the line for lap 47.
2 guys I'm really watching here, Jeremy, is that 19 and that 31. Due to that wreck that they were involved in and being back here, they really haven't been able to make up too much ground. And right in front of them, they see stage points. Those stage points could be just what barely makes them get into that final 4. So these 2 drivers need every single piece of stage points that they can earn here tonight, and they currently find themselves 12th and 13th, just a couple more positions. They'll find themselves in the top 10, but it's got to be frustrating if you're Richie Coy and Jeff Chandler, knowing how fast you are at these mile and a halves and just not being able to do anything about getting stage points.
Contact with Daniel Simmons and Robert Maliki, and it's going to send Maliki into the outside wall there. Just a little bit of a scuff on corner exit. That was for the battle of 3rd place. Didn't spin him, but he's going to drop back a ton of ground here, a half a second at least, as he falls down to the number 4 Chad Lang here at the line. 6 laps to go in this stage.
And this stage right now is kind of heating up. You have the top 3 drivers separated by no more than 4.5, almost 5/10 of a second as they head down the Nellis back straightaway. I think Jamie Knopf might be able to do something with that 84 machine if he can just hold out a little bit longer and really pick a different line compared to Danny LaFleur. I think that Daniel Simmons is definitely pressuring Knopf just a little bit, might be making him kind of make a few more mistakes, but Jamie Knopf's closing in little by little. He might be able to get this stage winners. There were 3 wide almost here going into 1 and 2. That's Hedrick, Blackner, and Lang off turn 2.
Yeah, looks like they were all but 3 wide there. 22 just does not have the run on corner exit. Wondering if that right side damage is slowing up his car in the center of the corners, where he has a little bit less downforce. He just can't carry the speed. Jose Acosta is going to undercut him there. They're going to go 3 wide down the front straightaway as they both, the number 4 and 24, pass the 22. So the 22's got some damage, or at least a long run setup that's not to his liking, as he now drops back to 8th place.
And guess who's moved inside the top 10? Jeff Chandler, currently sitting P10. Don't know if he's going to be able to make another run for another point as he sees that number 8 of Ben Tracy right in front of him. But Richie Coy, he was running 12th, now finds himself in the 15th position, about to lose another one to Colby Mice. So that 19 machine in huge trouble here tonight.
It does look like at this point, Jose trying to make a pass on Ryan Hendrick. This is for 4th place still. Michael Blackner waiting to see who wins out of this battle. Here on the back straightaway, 47 has to give up the lane. Jose takes it. He moves up to the top. They're all going to go single file now within this top 10. Is it going to come across the line? 2 laps to go. Looks like 8 of Ben Tracy going to the inside of Malikian. He's going to get him loose on corner exit. So Malikian continue to have some woes here as he's slow in the back straightaway, falls just at 10th place.
And this is not what Robert needed. Remember, a few laps ago here, Jeremy, he was leading. Now he finds himself right on the brink of possibly losing stage points. And here we go. Here goes Colton Gum to the inside of him down this back straightaway for the opportunity to collect stage points and give the 22 none. So what will this number 10 machine do? Will he try to pass him? Will he try to stay behind? Remember, those two guys, they are teammates over at Elevated Esports, so maybe Colton Gum could possibly try to hold these guys up to get Robert Malicki in that 1 point that he might need to carry him into that Final Four.
And final time down the back straight for stage number 1. And everybody's all single filed out here as you see 99 on the floor. He's going to come across the line. P1, Jamie Knott. P2, Daniel Simmons. P3. So great points there from Jamie to get it back to 2nd place before stage end. And that brings out the 3rd caution this evening presented by Roasted Jim's Coffee. And these guys are going to get wound down and head down pit road. This is our time to take our pit stop and go picture in picture. We'll be back here shortly. And back to full screen here as we got about, I think, a lap or two left to go as soon as we see the pace car cross the line. And we're going to try to bring in the 84 there of Jamie Knopp. As you see our Lucky Dog winner presented by Martin Sports, Martin Sports hashtag Get a Grip Lucky Dog Award goes to that 23 Brody Hand. He's going to get serviced by his crew to get that thing refreshed and hopefully get that car up to speed to compete as he's now back on the lead lap here. As we're going to try to bring in that A84 real quick if he is available. And you know what? Oh, there he is. Okay, I found him. He's all the way at the very bottom there, Jason. So we're going to move him into our channel now. Jamie Knopp, this is Jeremy in the Nerd TV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, hey, man, Jamie, you were really, really strong there in that initial first stage, man. And obviously, we talked about right before the beginning of the broadcast, 24 points from you to the leader, Richie Coy, coming into tonight's point situation. And then, obviously, you were only back by 9, man. The stage points, they got to feel good. Do you think you have what it takes to go from the 8th seed here coming into tonight to that number 1 advanced seed here leaving tonight?
If I can get lucky and breaks go my way and have a shot to win, but points-wise, the 31 and 19 are pretty much too far ahead. So I'm basically trying, if I'm pointing my way in, trying to race for those other 2 spots between the other 6 of us. But I would love to win and be locked in. That would be awesome. But yeah, I was trying to get as many stage points there as I could.
Yeah, man. Well, you did a great job there getting P2 on that one. And you're looking great, man. If you continue this run up, you're going to be right at that cut line, moving yourself up quite a few spots. So just good luck out there this evening. I'm going to move you back down to your team, and maybe we'll be talking to you at the end of the race.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And that was 84 Jamie Knopp, part of Team LA Motorsports, as he's trying to represent their colors, get into the top 3 podium this evening. And which is going to be just over 100 laps away, 108, 107 at the line, I do believe. And we got the really fast 24 Jose Acosta, which we're still waiting for him to pick up a W. I know he's been really fast and continuing to show it, Jason.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think he probably has what it takes, obviously. It's just going to take the execution. He's got to execute this race right. We've seen how good Jamie's been this second half of the season. I really, really, really think he could do something here with that 84 machine. But we're going to have a lot of laps to go if he wants to try to advance himself into the next round.
Yep, he definitely does. And pace car is down. Green flag is out. We are underway here for stage number 2. Jose with a great launch over the 84 at Jamie Knopp. Going to bring in the 06 Daniel Simmons right behind the 24. Looks like he's going to remain in line with your race leader until they get to the entrance of 1. He's going to move up the track a half a groove. I know he's going to try to carry that momentum on the outside early on here. He has the speed. He's going to look low. Jose does not put the block on side by side for the race leading 3.
Yeah, great move there by Daniel Simmons to tuck out a line. He had the run coming off of turn number 2, went down to the bottom of the racetrack, and there he goes to the inside, still battling with Jose Acosta. Jamie Knopp trying to bring himself along with them. You see Daniel LaFleur, your stage 1 winner. He's back there in 4th trying to make something work as well off 2.
Jose gets a little slipped up there on the corner exit of 2. He's going to drop behind the 84. The 99 of LaFleur is going to try to make the pass. He elects to lift early in 3, and it's going to work for him through the center 3 and 4. He's going to make the pass, so Jose loses 2 positions through the backstretch in turn 3. And now they got Ben Tracy on the inside now. Chad Lang directly behind him as Jose is temporarily in a little situation.
Yeah, Jose's trying his best to work that outside, but a lap ago he got really, really loose off turn number 2. Just got chopped off there by Ben Tracy off 2 that time around. But he's still trying to work that outside, just not being able to do it. He's actually drifting back quite a lot. He's fallen into Jeff Chandler. Michael Blackner thought for a moment to split that 24 machine. He'll go back out to the outside, get some air on the nose of that Ford Mustang. But as they head back down to 1 and 2, it looks like this 24 is kind of stabilized just a little bit. It looks like he will. He's currently in 8th here off 2.
Michael Blackner hit the wall slightly off of turn 4 that last lap there. Doesn't that look like it's hurting him, though? He's all over Jose Acosta right now as they get to turn 3. Moves up that one groove, which it seems like that secondary groove is so strong. Oh, but Jose is going to choke up the exit there of Michael Blackner. Is going to make him hit the wall in turn 4 back-to-back times. This time he's going to almost go 3 wide with TJ Bartel. Elects not to do that, and they remain 2 by 2 through 1 and 2.
Yes, 24 is definitely holding up this back half of the field, and now Michael Blackner finally has that opportunity to go up to the outside. His teammate Richie Coy follows right behind him, and here comes Fred Moreau. Haven't talked about him much all night. The Season A winner from Las Vegas finally finds himself inside the top 15 after starting near the rear of the field in that third to last row. He's made his way up there. Watch out for this 5 of Fred Moreau here, Jeremy, late in the go, and I think he might have something for a top 10 run.
Yeah, it took him stage break to really make up that ground, and now he's sitting in 12th place and moved up half the field. He's got a half more to go if he really wants to show his kind of speed. Here's our 3 wide. Oh, the 12 of Joseph gets really close to making contact to Colby Mice's left rear. He thinks better of it, gets on the binders, goes back to 2 by 2. So cause a little bit of separation here. So we got the top 6-7 cars. Got about a half a second to a full second separation. They got another 6 or 7 cars here. So a little 3-car setup here, 3-pack setup here early on in stage 2.
Yeah, and from Richie Coy to Chad Lang, it's about a second gap, and really it's like a huge pack race back there from the 8th on back, and it's just crazy because there's so much action going everywhere back there in the back of the pack, and you just don't really know where to look. There's so much stuff going on. There's even so much stuff here going up for the race lead. Jeff Chandler, Daniel Simmons battled just a moment ago, and it looks like the 31's going to have a great run off turn number 2. He looks like he's going to get side by side, even down the back straightaway with Simmons as they head into 3 and 4. Chandler's going to clear the 06 as he heads into 3 and 4. Jeff Chandler from a spin to the point now here on lap 69 this time.
I can just envision Doyle Lawrence in the chats doing the fist bump, saying, heck yeah, let's go, Jeff Chandler. He takes over P1 there. Daniel Simmons falls back quickly 3 car lengths off the back bumper of Jeff Chandler as that long run car is now turned into a short run car for the 31. If he can maintain that speed into the long run, this is going to be a dangerous car late in going.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Jeremy. We really haven't seen the long run yet, except for that last run we had from the last caution all the way to the end of the first and only stage. I just don't know if you want to set yourself up for a long run or a short run. But by the way, this race has played out so far, I would say you want to set your car up to be on that medium run because we just keep having yellows, knock on wood. I mean, we just don't know. So I think the 31, he might have probably just kept that car the same. Jeff usually tends to have a gut feeling when it comes to certain things. I believe that 31 still is definitely set up for that long run, but he probably, for sure, like most of these drivers, made a few tweaks to the car probably to set himself up for a short or a medium run as well as that long run speed that he wanted.
100%. We saw 3 wide momentarily there down the front straightaway. They got to turn 1. They went back to 2 wide. Backstretch, they're going to find themselves single file. Get back to turn 3. They're going to mix it up once more, staggering the entrance there. 33 of Williford almost hits the back bumper of the guy in front of him. Can't tell you initially who that was, but they get off turn number 4. No problems there. We're going to quickly shout out one of our partners here from the Nerditudes. That's iRacing iFlag. It's the standard for iRacing open sourced race marshaling systems. The 64 LED 3D printed light board that shows you all the different notifications and flags that iRacing has to offer you in a truly one-of-a-kind way in your sim rig. So it just kind of represents the caution lights on the catch fence, but it does so much more for you. It becomes your spotter. It becomes your, if you have too much damage, it becomes just a lot of different things that really kind of helps you to help you perform at your peak performance around these tracks without losing the focus from the action. So head yourself over to iRacingIFlag.com and use super nerd code for 15% off anything you purchase from Jeff over at iRacingIFlag.com.
Yeah, I'm sure some of the guys here with the iRacing iFlag system in their sim cockpits tonight probably had a lot of yellow flashing earlier on in this race, and maybe, Jeremy, now is the time where we're going to actually see that long run. These guys are dialed in for the end of this race. Remember, you set up that first stage. That's really what you're going for. You're not setting yourself up for that initial, or not your initial, but for that ending. You know, you want to make sure that you have the car to get to the front stage 1. Then you might want to set yourself up for this second stage. So maybe we're done with the yellows. Maybe now we're going to start to see those long green flag runs. And as I say that, Robert Malickian blocks Ben Tracy all the way up to the wall, basically, on the exit of the tri-oval. He'll still find himself side by side with the 4 of Lang off turn number 2. But boy, with just saying that, Jeremy, we very well could see a yellow here again.
You know that curse is out and alive, and if you're going to do that and you see this huge group of cars still on my screen, I am not even going to try to bring that up here as we now focus on the 5, Fred Moreau. Gets to turn number 4 down the front straightaway once more to complete lap number 75 of this scheduled 167 lap race. A lot of this field from about 7th on back still just super racy like we just had the restart a lap ago. Excellent racing here from Las Vegas so far.
Yeah, some great racing for sure, to say the least. And I mean, just double wide all the way throughout this field. You really haven't seen any single file racing, and when you do, you're seeing it for just a split second, or maybe up there at the front, because everybody's probably trying to get dialed in, save some tires, and then probably try to get up towards that front here. So we'll see. But these guys in the back, they're still racing like it's the last lap every single lap. As you look at Joseph Grijalva, he battles side by side with Michael Blackner in that UPS number 87.
Yeah, good run right now through 3 and 4. You see the 15 in a row. That's Nicholas up there at the very top there, blowing the dust off. And I haven't seen a car up there in quite a few laps, but obviously the grip is still there. It's working for him, but it is definitely weird to see the 15 Nicholas Moreau back there in the pack, not up there in the top 10. So see if he can't get himself back into position. Currently residing in 20th place, that is. And jumping over to the chats real quick, I see Skidmark out there saying 31 looks like the car to beat. And I think at this point in the race, as Ryan Chapman gets super loose, a 4-wheel slide off corner exit, able to hit nobody. So excellent job there from Ryan Chapman. But to go back to Skidmark's comment, I'm going to have to agree with you, Doyle Lawrence, and Doyle Lawrence, rather, that Jeff Chandler has the car to beat.
Chapman's
27 still loose through 1 and 2, man. These tires on this car, Jason, are just screaming right now.
Oh my goodness, we had nearly about 3 wrecks in the span of 3/4 of a lap. Look at this 27, man. He's going to lose this thing. He is so loose off the corners. Look at him inside his cockpit, nearly losing it off every single turn. He's smiling, though, probably having a good time saving it. But I would not be smiling if I were him, because look at this car. There's got to be something wrong with this 27 machine, because I have never seen a car get this loose unless the tire's down. But obviously this is iRacing. You're not going to have a tire down unless you get that tread all the way down to 0 pretty much. But this is interesting. He's actually going to hit the wall right here, up and into the wall. You see him trying to get off there. It looks like he's going to be able to save it. Ryan Chapman has not had a good last 2 laps. He's actually going to fall all the way to the back now.
Yeah, good thing with iRacing, when the tire gets down to low enough air pressure or just tire tread, it warns you, gives you the meatball, says you have to pit here sooner or else you're going to lose your tire. He can't have that this early in the run, though. That 4-wheel tire slide he had off of 4 a few laps ago, that definitely, upset those tires 100%. So he just has to cool them off, but I don't think he's going to have any competitive speed until we get to the pit stops. But we jump back to the front here, Jeff Chandler, the 31, 0.3 of a second lead, still over that 0.6 Daniel Simmons.
Yeah, great run by the 31 here, but he's actually kind of fallen off just a little bit. Last time around, Daniel Simmons was a 10th faster than him. And in fact, still running up in the upper 3s. We saw Jeff Chandler a couple laps ago. He was running in the upper 2s. Now he's in the high 4s. And this time by at the line as we hit lap number 83. That time by, Chandler slower than Simmons by about a little bit more than 0.02 of a second. So maybe Jeff Chandler tweaked that long run setup just a little bit more than he probably wanted to. And now he's falling back into the clutches of Daniel Simmons almost.
Just past halfway here, getting right close to it. We're going to jump over to Turn Up the Tunes, listen to the sounds of these next-gen cars going around Las Vegas. We'll be back here shortly. turn up the twos, where we turned up the sounds and turned down our microphones so you can listen to these cars go around this track. And as we did that, the 27 of Ryan Chapman with some huge woes a few laps prior, turn 2 strikes on this number 27. You see the aftermath right there, and just continues to hit the wall. But we're going to do a little VHS rewind here and see exactly what happened to Ryan Chapman. Turn 2 seems to be a struggle for a decent amount of these people out here this evening. And right there, as you can kind of see it, we're going to go back to normal speed. Hits the bumps in turn 2 and sends that thing around after getting loose several times prior. Overcorrection, from the bottom of the track to the top. This is going to hurt.
Yeah, this is going to hurt for sure. Right there, the right front fender completely gets caved in. And you could just imagine that toe is completely broken on that 27 machine. He's trying to crank it to the right. You could see the wheels starting to turn, but a vicious hit to the inside wall right there. Knocks off the left front fender. The right rear's hanging. There we go. He's just pieces flying. He drags along this inside line all the way against this wall, and he starts getting going, and then eventually he can't turn. So the car just starts turning for him, and he's trying his best to get to pit road, but right here coming up, I believe he's going to hit a point. Yeah, right here, right past this line. Boom! Right there. Hard impact for that 27 machine. I think Ryan Chapman's day is probably going to be over with the amount of damage he caused, even more trying to get to pit road.
And we're going to have to jump it over to live view here because
we have a caution
for the 4th time this evening. Looks like Robert Malikian, the 22, was 3 wide with Michael Blackner and Brian Dublé. And they make contact almost halfway down the back straightaway. You see the contact 37 to 87. That moves the 87 up into the 22.
Oh, no.
And then it gets pinched into the wall. 87 shoots down the track, hooks the 37. And this caused a chain of events here for these guys.
Oh, no. This was not what this 22 machine needed. He almost weight shifts completely. That toe is probably more than likely knocked out. Whoa, look at the job that the 47 of Ryan Hedrick did, especially Wayne Grossi. But, man, the 22, Robert Malikian, having a great run today. Got that one extra stage point at the end of that first stage. Now finds himself in a very, very troublesome spot. Here it is again in real time. 22 right around. I think if it wasn't for the 14 of Lane Allen, not to mention the fact that Lane Allen is also a playoff guy. We haven't really talked about him a lot tonight. He's been running solid about mid-pack all race long. But besides that, haven't really seen him a whole lot. And here's Ryan Hedrick, just barely gets through it. But I think if it wasn't for the 14 there, Jeremy, I think that 22 probably would have got back straight, and the damage wouldn't have been as bad as it was.
Yeah, 100% there. I think the 14 Lane Allen, he is a playoff driver, and I think his car is going to be able to get repaired all the way, aerodynamically speaking. I don't know how that's going to handle until we see him out there at full speed. But he definitely got lucky as to not lose a fender or anything. As we went over those replays and saw exactly what the 14 had for damage. But pit road is not very busy this time around here. And we've had 4 cautions now. So remember, you have only 4 set of tires to change entirely. So you got to kind of conserve here as you still got another 70-some laps to go. When do you take your tires? Right now, I think a lot of these people like to not do that, to play on the side of safety. And since, pit stops didn't really happen too much, we're going to go ahead and do our Nerd TV Top 10 recap here. And first one up is Daniel Simmons in the 06, up 9 positions, started 10th, going to be in first place, I guess 10th positions rather. And then right behind him, Jeff Chandler, fastest guy in the field, started first, currently at second. And it will not surprise me if he passes Daniel here because his short run speed seems to be on point right now. Third place, Jamie Knopp. We talked to him before the green flag on stage 2. He's definitely got probably the second or third fastest car in my opinion. And this is a great point stay so far for this 84. Fourth place, up 5 positions, Ben Tracy in the 8. Not a point stay for him as far as playoff is concerned. But this guy just continues to get a little bit better and better as we see him. And now he's consistently running inside this top 10 here this evening. 99, Danny LaFleur. Play a little bumper cars a little early on there with the 23, got cleared of that, and then just been kind of running a quiet race. We haven't talked too much about Daniel LaFleur, so right now, down 3 spots from the starting position, going to be restarting at 5th. Fred Moreau, this is the guy we talked about in the pre-race. 25th to 6th. So he's up 19 positions. And this is exactly the race that he likes to run. Does not qualify half the time. Comes to this race and just likes to pass everybody in the field. So right now he's only got 5 more cars to pass. And he's there. And then you got Chad Lang there starting in 7th. He's up from 22nd to 7th. So 15 positions for that 4-car. Excellent drive to get himself in there. Remember, he's also 4th place in the playoffs coming into this event. Need to have that good points day. Joseph Grohalva going to be restarting in 8th. He's up 15 spots as well, started in 23rd. So great drive by the 12. And then you have another driver right behind him, TJ Bartel, up 9 positions, 18th to 9th. And then Stephen Hollingsworth on 25 rounds out the top 10 here so far on this restart.
I think it's going to be very, very fun to watch Fred Moreau and see what he can do. He's going to be starting right next to his teammate there, the 99. You talk about Daniel LaFleur. He's kind of had a quiet night, really. Obviously won that first stage, had that contact with the 23 earlier on in the race. But, I mean, ever since he won that stage, Jeremy, he's been fairly quiet. He's been caught back there between that first front pack that usually gets away with about 7 to 8 cars. And then there's that back half of the field where it's like a mini Atlanta. So we'll see how the 99 and the 5 do. I expect Fred Moreau here to do some big things on this restart, especially starting up on that outside in row 3.
I'm excited to find out with you here as we got the green flag waving right now. 5th time this evening it is out, and a great restart to everybody inside this top 10. They did not leave one another here. Going to go through turns 1 and 2. We're going to find who's going to go to the top early on to get that momentum. We saw last time Daniel Simmons did this exact same thing, and he's able to pass real quickly into the race lead. Getting through 1 and 2, not seeing it so much this time here. You see the 06 break away. He's going to have about 2 car lengths on the 84. The number 5, Fred Moreau, he's going to jump to that 3rd group to try to find some speed.
Man, and that number 06 machine there, Jeremy, he was blocking the 84 down the back straightaway off too. But then when he went back up to the outside, or the middle lane rather, came back down, chopped the nose of that 84. He didn't literally chop the nose, but he took the air off the front of that 84, and you saw him not kind of start to get a little bit tight off the corner. It might happen again this time down the back straightaway. He's going to arc it again. Watch this 84. He's going to get a little bit tight here. He does it again with the 06, taking the air off the front of that car. And here comes Jeff Chandler. And what do you know? Here comes Fred Moreau in the number 5 Ford Mustang. He's going to give a little bit of a push to Chandler this time down the front. And they're all chasing after Simmons in a 1.
This cannot be good for Jamie Nupp to slide those front tires there early in the corner of 1 and 3. You just can't do that on a long run, or else your car is just going to be really tight. So he's going to have to back it up and try something a little different. But here's that number 5, as you just said. He's got his nose underneath the 2nd place car, Jeff Chandler. Looks like he's going to make semi-quick work with him. At least gets his nose in front. He moves the P2 at the line.
Talk about P2, could be going for P1 right here. He throws it down into 1. Right on the bottom of Daniel Simmons, and he's going to be side by side with him. Could bring Jeff Chandler along with him down the back straightaway. They're dead even as the field scrambles back behind them. Fred Moreau looking to go to the point. He'll clear Daniel Simmons this time into 3 and 4.
And he made that look easy. New leader number 5, Fred Moreau. Jeff Chandler going to be in 2nd place here. Gets a great launch through corner exit 4. Elects to not go for the attack there on the bottom of Fred, as Fred gets about a car length on Jeff Chandler there on the entrance. And it looks like Jeff has a little bit stronger on exit speed, that is. Daniel Simmons in the 06 does a great job as well. Separates a little bit from 4th place on back. And starting to see a little 3-car breakaway starting to form up.
I think 2 drivers right now, Jeremy, that I'm keeping my eye on, and not in a good way, is that number 19 of Richie Coy. Finds himself currently inside the top 10, but it has just not been a day for that number 19. We're so used to seeing him up at the front, battling with the 31. Really, mainly for these mile-and-a-half races, just has not been the race ever since that contact earlier on involved in that first caution tonight for the 19. Hasn't been his way. And the same goes for Jose Acosta in the race. About the first half of this race was up at the front, now finds himself back in 18th, so maybe a recovery could come here for that number 24 machine, but he's mired deep into this traffic. It's going to take him quite a while to get through this.
And if it looks like at 25 there, Stephen Hollingsworth, great launch through 1 and 2 on the top half of the track. He's going to go to the bottom of Fred Moreau as Jeff Chandler got back around him already. side by side, 25 and the 5. That allows Jeff to get about a 2 to 3 car separation on that 5. At the line, Hollingsworth does have the position to move the 25 into P2.
I think that 31 there, Jeremy, right under that last caution, probably made an adjustment here for this short run just because I think we've been getting more and more of it, and he was able to put on the attack mode here once this restart came about here on lap 91. These guys were all in the pits taking their second and third sets of Goodyear Eagles. Only one left in the pits for most of these guys. But that driver, Stephen Hollingsworth, in that 25 machine, Jeremy, watch out in case there's a late race yellow. That 25 machine, he might have an extra set of tires in the pits, might be able to use them to his advantage depending on how this race plays out. Definitely going to be something we're going to have to watch for.
100% here is the top 5 single filed out. Little almost bumper car action from the 1999 as the 99 checked up for the corner a little bit more than what Richie maybe anticipated. So he had to get on the binders just a touch there, come off turn number 4 this time. And the number 4 Chad Lang moves up. Richie Coy's up the track just a little bit, almost makes contact there on the back half of the curvature section of the front straightaway. He gives the verbal chat saying, "I'm sorry." No harm, no foul. They keep going. Looks like maybe 3 wide back there for 15th as we're looking at the lead now for maybe another lead change.
Yeah, and here comes Hollingsworth to the outside. Oh, a little bit of contact, near contact rather, between Jeff Chandler. A great heads-up driving by him to be able to check up enough. It looked like there was a little bit of an air pocket between the 2 doors on the right and left side there of those 2 cars. Great hard battling between this 31 and 25. Hollingsworth gets the run, and that Tim Richmond number 25 machine, he'll go to the point now as he clears Chandler, going into one with Fred Moreau, looking for an opportunity to get past Chandler.
And look at Joseph Grijalva trying to continue to move himself in or get closer and closer to the top 5. Going to pass Ben Tracy, the 8 car on the outside, and gets that position completed at least at the start finish line. So that moves him into P6 to make this thing up to 17 positions since the start of this race. 105 laps ago. He's going to get all but completed on the pass in turn 3. Just has to go by another rear bumper, and he's going to have it done. Gets the corner exit, chokes up a little bit. Ben Tracy still fighting on.
Yeah, I want to see if we can go back to off turn number 2 here from that last lap. That number 12 machine, oh, and he actually hits the wall there down the front straightaway entering 1. But that 12 got loose and got into the door of that number 8. Oh, and Hollingsworth up and into the wall off turn number 2. He got tight as well and almost lost the lead to Jeff Chandler. But that 12 machine of Joseph Grijalva, you're going to see him. He gets a little bit loose coming off turn 2 here coming up. This is off 4. This is when they're starting to battle. Ben Tracy right there on the bottom. He's going to hold him tight here at his door coming down. And then obviously that 12 just hits the wall right there on exit, or on entry rather, of 1. But a lap before, that 12 machine got really loose and door slammed that 8.
As we jump back to live action here. Oh, we're going to go to another replay for another angle potentially. And here's the contact right there. The 12 just comes down onto Ben Tracy's door panel there. No warning to Ben whatsoever, but did not move his car at all. So they continue to battle on that camera screen right there. And now we're going to jump back to live. And it looks like the 25, the 31 are still side by side for the lead. Everybody else until about 10th place is all single filed.
We can go to the drone cam here, or rather the side of that right side of the 25 machine. I don't know if he has any damage, but it looked like he hit that wall pretty good coming off turn 2 just a couple laps ago. And I don't know if there's any damage to the right front here possibly. Doesn't look like it from this angle. Not really seeing any fender flare on that composite body towards the right rear. So I believe that 25 machine looks to be all good. But look at this great battling we got here between the 25 and 31 here. Some great stuff here late into the race. But remember, these guys still have one more pit stop to go. It's probably going to come around, I'd say, around lap 135, maybe lap 140, if we do, in fact, get the distance before or if a yellow comes out.
Yeah, right now, outside of the top 10 is still getting pretty racy. So there's a good chance you might see a caution produced by some traffic involved anyways. as we're kind of looking through the top 5 still at the moment. Focus on the 06 Daniel Simmons. Want to give a shout out to another one of our partners, this time Dusty Pete's. It's a hobby store with a whole lot more. Based out of New York, Dusty Pete's is your one-stop shop for many things nerdy. If collecting is the game, Dusty Pete's is the name. From figurines to action figures, collectible cards such as Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and sports cards, to die-cast replicas, and a plethora of comics for you to choose from. So if you're young or old, head yourself over to dustypete's.com, and anything you do pick out from their website, use that promo code SUPERNERD. It's going to save you 10% off when you do purchase from Dusty at dustypete's.com.
We're seeing a great battle here back through this field. Jose Acosta trying his hardest to make his way back up through. Talked about how he was mired back in that traffic before. Now he's finally starting to... Oh, it looks like one car up into the wall. That's Chris Beck in the 44 machine, able to save it, though, while Jose tries to get through this traffic oh so slowly, just not being able to get through quick enough. And Richie Coy still sitting there in the 10th machine. That car has gone absolutely nowhere tonight, as we're seeing some 3-wide racing behind them. Danny LaFleur, Chris Beck, Tony Solari there for a near moment going through the tri-oval. They'll stay side by side as Beck slides up the racetrack, but he'll hold that position from Solari and LaFleur off too.
This is so far, to me, one of the best mile-and-a-half tracks we've seen all season long. This whole entire race has had action on every part of the surface, whether it was for the top 5, for the back 5 cars, does not matter. They're still all over the place here at the line crossing for lap 115. So as we get closer and closer to the final 25% of this race, you're starting to see right there a lot of cars, at least on my end, a lot of cars moving up to the top at 1 and 2. The leaders are electing to take a little more conservative route there on the bottom, trying to conserve that tire wear just a touch bit more. Jeff Chandler still leads the way. Fred Moreau is back, making another charge here, wanting to lead some more laps.
And Fred Moreau, he's doing a great job here in that number 5 machine, trying his hardest to get up through this field, and he's done so. Plus 23 positions. He's got to the lead at one point. He's -1 from where he was. Now he's trying to get back to the inside of Jeff Chandler. I would not be surprised if this 5 machine upsets these playoffs by getting the win here again and sweeping the Vegas races here in the 2023 FTSR Mach-1 season as he heads back down to the inside of Jeff Chandler. They're side by side again here, coming to line on lap 117 to start.
Yeah, and he hit the line that time. It belongs to Fred Moreau by 19 one-thousandths of a second. Number 5 back to lead, and as that happened, the 44 Chris Beck just bumpered the 19 Richie Coy, basically roughed him up all the way through 3 and 4, just continued to bump draft him until the 19 had to push way wide on corner exit 4, and it upset the car. Slight wall contact. He lost about 5 positions on that transaction.
Some really tough stuff there for Chris Beck. He's kind of struggled here tonight. Remember, was involved in that first incident early on in the night. And whoa, look at this. All over the back bumper of Richie Coy. Sends him right into the wall there. Unfortunate for Richie to be able to slide back more, and he was 10th a couple laps ago. Now finds himself P16. If I were Richie, I would not be too happy with Chris Beck.
You see him right there all over the wheel, just getting pushed through 3 and 4. And had no control over other than what he did. Oh, we got a caution on the field here on lap 118. As we're going to try to figure out where that happened. I see some tire marks there in 1 and 2. I don't know if that's where it happened, but and needless to say, it's going to be the 5th caution here, presented by Roast Gems Coffee.
Yeah, we're going to see here who it was. Possibly it could have been maybe Brian Dublé, Lane Allen, just by the looks of it. Brian Dublé way back behind most of these guys here. We're going to take a look and see. And it looks like it probably was the 37 of Dublé. We're going to see him heading down this back straightaway here. Looks like looking around the track trying to see. There's some, all right, so there's some smoke up ahead of this 37 machine. They're starting to slow down, and maybe it could have been somebody in front of that 22 machine of Robert Malikian here. We're going to try to see if we can get another replay on this.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what caused this replay. I'm not seeing anything, or this, oh, I found it finally. The 47 and the 19. This is lap 118. Ryan Hedrick Richie Coy involved in a little wreck here. Entering turn 3, the 47 was going 3 wide here up the middle with the 19 on the top and the 99 on the bottom, and just ran out of room, hit the 19's left rear of his car, and they both slid up into the outside wall in 3.
Yeah, and that's tough right there. Richie Coy, this is going to be a night that he would probably want to forget. But last time, Richie actually just stayed out. I don't know if this was part of the game plan. Maybe he accidentally missed pit road or whatnot. But this would be a very, very unpopular choice for that number 19 to stay out on old tires. And that was a hard hit to the outside wall. He's got some damage on the right rear. He's got some damage down the left side with some contact from that 47. And, man, just unfortunate. It looks like just a racing deal. I think the 47 tried to put it 3 wide, and unfortunately the 19 came down. The 47 came up. Definitely just a racing deal. I think no harm, no foul.
Yeah, it was just battling for position on the top half of the track, and they just ran out of real estate and extends it around there for the 5th caution. We're going to jump it over to another picture-in-picture break. Be back shortly before the drop of the green flag for the 6th time this evening. And back to full screen here just before the drop of the green flag, which will come out on lap 123. So it'll be a nice little 44-lap shootout here between now and the end. I think they're going to be good to go on pit stops as long as they stay green the whole entire way. We will find out for sure, though, about the tire wear situation, as these guys are going to get up on it here. Restart. Green flag is out. We are good to go here on this start. Looks like everyone's through the gears. No problem. The 3rd gear, getting the 4th gear probably about now as you get the corner entrance. Still remains side by side for the race lead.
As they head back down into 1 and 2, Jeff Chandler able to get out ahead. He's going to have to clear the 06 of Daniel Simmons down this back straightaway. Opens up the door for Moreau, but it looks like the 31 still able to clear this gaggle of traffic behind him for the race lead. They work off turn number 4. Jeff Chandler looks to lead this lap this time by, but here comes Fred Moreau fighting back down to the bottom.
Fred made a great charge early on last time, but can he hold the tie wire? That's going to be the situation for the 5. Can he do that? Right now, he's going to drop back. He's going to lift on that corner entrance just a touch. 6 of Daniel Simmons. This guy, I think, if they get a long green flag run here, he might be one of those contenders. Just continues to impress me here late into this run. Side by side for 5th place right now. Looks like Jamie Knopp and Chad Lang, 2 playoff contenders trying to get inside the top 5.
Now, let's not forget Joseph Grijalva. Look at this guy, plus 19 from where he started tonight. This guy has been making it up here through this field slowly but surely. And I think Grijalva, if he can just keep on doing what he's doing, I think he could surely find himself, maybe not in a win, but a top 3 podium position here to come and talk to us nerds up here in the booth for the first time in his FTSR career. He'll actually work up to the outside. Daniel Simmons nearly pinches him up and into the wall, but the 12 will tuck back in line right behind Simmons and try to set himself up going to the outside. Is not past the checkup for the 12. They're nearly 4 wide going into 1 and 2, and the 4 looked like he made a little bit of contact with Grijalva. There's racing all over the track right now down the back.
A little risque move there from the 25 of Hollingsworth, trying to put 2 of the playoff contenders in a 3 wide situation in turn 1, but he made it work. The 25 clears Jamie Knopp, and now he's going to move to the outside of that number 4, Chad Lang. This is going to be the battle for 5th place.
And they're going to go down into 1 and 2. Now Hollingsworth trying to use that outside to his advantage, not going all the way up to the top, but using half the middle, half the top. He'll go to the outside again on Lang. Looks like he'll be able to clear him down this back straightaway. Sets himself up to pass Grijalva, entering 3 and 4, with Grijalva trying to get to the outside of Simmons again off 4, but Simmons will slam the door. And look at this, Fred Moreau going to the inside on Jeff Chandler. Battle for the lead heading into 1 on lap 128.
Expect the 5 to make a strong run here on the inside, but Jeff Chandler not releasing that position. Corner exit, the 31 has the preferred groove with the momentum. Gets all but cleared. The 5 is going to utilize a little bit of that side draft to keep in touch with the left rear quarter panel. Gets through turns 3 and 4. And right now, dead heat at the line, but it's going to be Jeff Chandler to lead this lap.
Yeah, great battle there for the lead, and this is just going to enable Joseph Grijalva to possibly make a run at these 2 right now. And Fred looks like he got a little bit tight through turn number 2, and Jeff still's going to power to the outside. If these guys stay side by side for much longer, this 12 is going to catch them, and he has. And here comes Hollingsworth along with Nicholas Moreau. Where did he come from in this 15 machine? He's going to slide right up in front of Daniel Simmons, nearly pinches him up and into the wall. It looks like Chad Lang and Tony Solari, they made contact and brushed the outside wall coming off 4. There's battling all over this racetrack now. These guys know it's go time. They know what's on the line if they're one of these 8 drivers inside the playoffs, and they see an opportunity to win here in Las Vegas.
Number 12, Joseph Grijalva hits the wall on corner exit 4. As him and the 25 of Hollingsworth were racing side by side, and looks like it did not hurt the performance, at least this lap, for the number 12, as he holds on to 3rd place. The 25 now going to move to the top. He's going to try to make the pass on the top side as he tried on the bottom 1 lap ago. Did not work, but easy pickings for the 25 on the top of 1 and 2.
Way to the top side of the racetrack, and really the only guy we've seen go up that high. That was awfully close to being in the wall on the exit, but he was able to clear Joseph there off turn number 2. And as they go into 3 and 4, here comes Nicholas Moreau trying to join his teammate brother Fred Moreau up at the front of this field. They'll stay side by side, that being Nick Moreau and Grijalva here down into 1.
Great racing still through this entire field here. Going through 1 and 2 this time. A little bit of separation for the top 2 or 3. And you start to see that back half still just a lot of movement. They're going to go 3 wide, it looks like. Led by the 24 of Jose on the inside. Got Ben Tracy right in the middle. Chad Lang on the top. One of your playoff drivers. Ben gets a little tight on the door panel of the 24. Oh, now the 8 of Ben Tracy's going to make contact with the number 4, Chad Lang. He moves down, makes contact with the 24, playing bumper cars on the front stretch.
Yeah, that could have been really bad there, Jeremy. Entering 1, that 24 entered in pretty low after the contact from the left rear of Ben Tracy, but they were able to save it and keep on going. This 24, though, trying his hardest to run that bottom lane, just can't seem to get up enough. He's going to be side by side now with Lang. Lang will clear him. Here comes Bartel. Her work to the outside. That's the battle for 10th.
And a really good battle at this time, too, that is. The 24 seems to momentarily have the position for 10th right now. 77 to Bartel, slips back just a touch. Will the 24 make the pass on Chad Lang? At least try to this time. Likes to go to the bottom half. Now TJ Bartel with a strong run. He's going to try to get to the outside of the 24 on exit.
And as they hit the line this time by lap 135 will go up on the board. Bartel still trying to look for a move around the 24 of Acosta, but here comes Steven Hollingsworth. Almost got to the lead a lap ago. He'll run that outside, looks to go to the inside. He'll stay tucked in line behind the Fred Moreau machine. And as they head down to 3 and 4, it's 4 cars battling, and the 25 gets loose on entry, trying to arc it into the corner too late, and that enables Fred Moreau to get away by just about a car length. But these guys are all still nose to tail down the front stretch into 1.
Daniel LaFleur, heavy loose there on the exit of turn number 4, right in front of the 33 of Williford. Great hands by Danny to keep that thing straight as they go down the back straightaway this time now. 33 trying to make that pass happen on the inside lane. Going to turn number 3 this time. The 33 has to lift a little bit more on center to early entry, but gets the corner exit, and he's going to make up that ground back. They still remain side by side, them two.
And that's the battle going on for the 14th to 15th position, with LaFleur working that middle lane around the 33 machine. He'll clear him now. This time sets himself up on the number 91 of Justin Dilton. Guy we haven't talked about all night. He's up 16 spots from where he started here tonight. So a solid run here for this number 91 machine. Ford Mustang GT here off turn number 4, trying to defend that position from this 99 of LaFleur as he gets to his bumper.
Going to quickly update on the point situation. The bottom 4 cars on the lead lap, which are off pace, are 4 of the 8 playoff contenders. 25th last place on the lead lap is laying out on the 14, followed by earliest in front of him is the 19 of Richie Coy, then the 23 of Brody Hanna, and the 87 of Michael Blackner. That's 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and 25th on the board this time. That's half of your round of 8. And the other half is floating inside the top 10. So a huge flip in the points here after this race is over.
Yeah, and that's most of Fury Motorsports, too. You think about it, the 23, the 87, and the 19. Heck, that's all of Fury Motorsports. Rest of their playoff guys, Tony Solari, he's not in this anymore. He was knocked out in the round of 12. He finds himself 12th in the playoff grid, obviously not eligible to compete for a title, but that is huge. There is going to be a massive, and I will exaggerate that as much as I have to, massive shakeup in the playoff standings here after tonight's race has set it over. And just to think, Jeremy, we still have over 20 laps to go. There is still a lot that can happen. We've seen this 31 be very aggressive with this 5 and 15 machine. What will Jeff Chandler do to beat the Moreau brothers, who are always come up to play here in the Mach-1 Cup, and they always somehow find a way to win at these 1.5 miles? We know Nick is good. We know Fred loves to start at the back. He did just that tonight. Now he finds himself battling with Jeff Chandler. The question will be, what will Jeff do to make a win happen tonight to advance himself into the round of 4?
I forgot to mention, too, the guy behind laying out on the 14, who's 14 laps down, also another playoff contender, the 22, Robert Malikian. So 5 of your round of 8 are outside the top 20 in this race.
Even huge. That's even more huge than what we even initially just said. I mean, and you look at the playoff guys right now. You have the 31 of Jeff Chandler. Oh, and a big move down to the inside. Nearly goes all the way down to the apron. And he is going to complete the pass nearly on this 5 machine of Fred Moreau. I can't even talk about this playoff picture right now because the racing is just so damn good here late in this race. We hit 25 laps to go now, up on the board in the Las Vegas 250. But you have Jeff Chandler, your second seed coming in tonight. Here's your race leader, Jamie Knopf. Needed a great run. He has had just that here tonight. He finds himself 5th. He came in as the 8th seed here in tonight's playoffs. And then obviously you have Chad Lang, and Chad finds himself into the top 10. He's currently sitting in that 10th position, like I had just said. Came into tonight on the 4th and final place that could make the round of 4. So just 3 drivers inside this top 10 are playoff drivers. So these guys who weren't playoff drivers here tonight, Jeremy, they came to play. They came to roll the dice, and sure enough, they've done just that.
Yeah, they're up 10 positions minimum compared to the competition that's currently holding on 22nd through 26th place on the scoring pylon here. These guys are coming to the line for lap 145, so it'll be 23 laps to go in this Las Vegas 250. The number 5, Fred Moreau, did hit the wall a couple laps back. That's why Jeff Chandler made that aggressive move to the bottom to make that pass happen on Fred. And now he's got himself a nice little 3-car separation between him and the 5. And the 5 have almost a 10-car length advantage here, as we're going to see that back one more time. At least that's the pass. And we're going to kick it over to the 5 of Fred Moreau, and we're going to see that impact on exit of 2.
Right here on the exit of 2, he just gets a little bit loose, comes up the racetrack, brushes that wall, and enables that 31 of Jeff Chandler, gets right to the bumper. I think if Jeff was just there even more, I think they both probably could have wrecked coming off turn number 2, but thankfully the 5 saved it. The 31 did a great job getting by him, and now obviously that puts Fred Moreau in a position to, is that car damaged? Not externally. We know that car looks fine from what we're seeing here, but with how loose it's getting, what is the damage like internally, Jeremy? You always say that, and obviously these cars, the bodies are very strong, but the parts on the inside, let's face it, they're kind of crap, not going to lie, as Kevin Harvick would say back at Darlington last year. These parts, they're just so fragile. One hit to the outside with that right rear will break. Oh, we got a crash in the back. 2 cars spinning sideways down, heading into that inside retaining wall. It's the 77 of TJ Bartel and the 12 of Joseph Grahava, who was having such a great night. And those two will bring out a caution here with just around 20 laps to go.
Man, that's going to be huge for some of these guys trying to get their positions back. And it looks like the 12 just gets loose, overcorrects it, and just barely makes contact to the left rear of TJ Bartel. And it's a bystander just comes through and does a fantastic job of not hitting that wall way harder than what he could have done. So just a little right front tap from the 77 of Bartel. He's going to be okay. But that reckon have been a lot worse. You see the 12 loose. 77 tries to make the pass and pays for it there. Almost completes the pass.
He was going to kick that thing into reverse there, Jeremy, and I thought that 77 was going to be able to stay off that wall, because when he was sliding out of point, I was like, there's no way that 77 didn't hit that wall. And then it looks like he almost did. And whoa, look at this strategy playing a factor. Drivers staying out, drivers coming in. We've seen that those old tires can hold off for a little bit, but I don't know if it's going to work here with 20 laps to go. Jose Acosta, Hollingsworth, Moreau, Fred Moreau, Nick Moreau, Solari, Dilts, Crossi, so many guys in this time, but also so many guys staying out as well. This is going to be a huge shakeup when we get back going here with around probably 15 laps to go. 11 drivers stay out of this 30-car field.
And what I will tell you is the 3 that are in position for that top 10 in the points, they all stayed out. That being Jeff Chandler, Jamie Knopp, Chad Lang. They're going to be 1st, 2nd, 5th. The other 4 guys left in the field that are in the round of 8, they all pitted, so they're going to have fresh tires. Even though they have damage, now this is going to balance them out. The fresher tires might play a factor to gain a few extra bonus points between the guys up front and the guys in the back of the field, that being Richie Coy, Brody Hanna, Michael Blackner. And so we're gonna see how that plays out here. But we're gonna jump it over to a quick picture-in-picture. We'll be back shortly before the drop of the green flag. And back to full screen action here as we have a half lap before we're going to resume this race on lap 152, which will make it 16 laps if my math serves me correctly there between now and the end of this race. And Jeff Chandler's going to resume P1 here, Jamie Knott P2, Daniel Simmons third, Ben Tracy fourth, and Chad Lang fifth place. And that's first, second, and fifth right now that are in the round of 8. They elected to stay out. The guys behind them, everybody else that's in the points pitted. So we'll see how that cycles through here in 16 short laps. Pace car is down. Green flag is out. This race is underway.
And what a great restart there for Jeff Chandler. That's just what he needs. Every single piece of real estate will keep himself from the rest of the guys who took tires. You're already starting to see Fred Moreau jump all the way out to the outside. He's making it work to the outside of Colby Mice, but he's up and into the wall off turn number 2. Holds up Nick Moreau, and Nick is sideways down the back. He is able to save it, nearly made contact. He makes more contact now with Michael Blackner into 3 and 4. This field is scrambling all over the place. Old versus new tires. Which one's going to prevail? 14 or 15 laps to go, rather, at the line.
Yeah, a lot of shake-up right now. 3 wide in a couple of different parts of the track. Contact 4 wide right now. Fred Moreau, TJ Bartel in the middle of that. There's still 4 wide on corner.
Is that going to work, boys?
And there they go. 77 around to the 25. They're going to wreck. It looks like nobody else involved, and there it is, the 6th caution presented by Rosa Jim's Coffee, or 7th, rather.
Said it wasn't going to work, boys. You can't do that. Not off turn number 4, man. Not off turn number 2, dude. Just not enough room right there on the exit. You saw the 15 of Nicholas Moreau. He shot through the bottom of the racetrack. Then you had the 25 and the 77. They're all there on the back straightaway. Fortunately, this 77 there just gets turned around into the 5.
It looked like the 15 gave enough room for these guys, but the top 3 cars all went to the top half of the track, and there was just not enough room on exit. You're going to see a nice overhead view here from the 77. Look at the 5 and 25 make contact. The 5 comes down, hooks the 77, maybe thinking he was cleared at that time. That sends TJ right into the left front nose of Steven Hollingsworth there in that 25, and they just kind of lock up, and everybody else in the field passes on the inside.
Look great real quick back again one more time at this one replay angle in particular, because you're going to watch the 5 here. This 5 machine, you could see him. He is already in the middle lane. He thinks he's probably going to have to hold his line. They'll go back to 2 wide. No, he's got to nose it on the 77. To everybody's defense, rather, I think the 5 could have lifted, but I don't blame Fred Moreau. It's late in the race. You're not going to lift, man. You're battling all the guys around you on fresher tires. You don't want to give up 1 or 2 positions, because that one position that you give up could be that one position that you end up falling short to coming here for the checkered flag. And the only ones that this benefits now, with the difference between the fresh and the old tires, is Jeff Chandler and those guys who stayed out. If you're Jeff Chandler, Daniel Simmons, Jamie Knopp, guys who did stay out, this helps you here late in this run, because obviously you stopped back at lap 119. You're versing guys on lap 148 tires. The first one who is on the freshest tires is Jose Acosta back in 6th. So the more gap you have behind you to the guy on fresher tires, the better off you possibly could be.
Yeah, for sure right there. And we saw how chaotic that restart got there just a lap in. So we're going to see definitely more of the same until those fresh tires do make their way to the front and kind of stabilize out at that point. So the 31 needs to mimic what he did that last restart. He did a hell of a job. I think it was either the 06 and 84 had a slight mishap going through the gears that choked up the top half of the track. But then they got it figured out, and then of course the 3 wide and 4 wide happened, and now they're going to stack them all up again, and we're going to have a restart here with 10 to go.
And this is going to be fun to see, Jeremy, here. We're probably going to get the one to go right here. No, we're going to still stay, I believe, under the yellow flag right now. And, yeah, we're going to restart here with 10 laps to go. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see which one of these guys gets out first. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Jose Acosta is in the perfect position because he has the freshest tires all the way back to Wayne Grassi, who is in 11th. Jose's in 6th. That's nearly 5 to 6 positions different than everybody else. So I think Jose is going to be in a really good shot. He's going to line up on this top side here. I think he could probably get to the top, get around Chad Lang and Jamie Knopf. I think Jose could probably more than likely go win this race. Heck, I'm going to say it. I think Jose Acosta wins this race.
That's a bold call there. He has a chance for sure. I just think the speed from the top 3, top 4 are just going to be a little overwhelming for that 24 to hang on for this now really short run here to end this Las Vegas 250. I want to shout out one of our partners before we go back to green flag. This time our long-term partners with Martin Sports, a small company with a big-time product, home of the sim gloves, the best ones in all of sim racing. They make the most breathable and durable gloves in the sim racing world. But they don't stop there. They also specialize in fully customized sublimation printing on everything from team uniforms to shirts and hoodies, allowing for 0 restrictions on color, and produces the absolute fastest turnaround in the business. Check out their full apparel lineup and merchandise at martinsports.gg and use that promo code SUPERNERD. It's going to save you 25% off anything you purchase from martinsports.gg.
I think the one thing, Jeremy, that we're going to have to look at too here on this restart is going to be which one of these guys on the fresher tires are going to set off possibly a wreck. Because when you look at it, that wreck was all really caused by old tires versus new tires. I think the one thing that could save Jeff Chandler and really anybody up there who has the older tires is going to be quick cautions. You're going to need quick caution after quick caution after quick caution. But I just don't see it happening, even with the quick cautions, because you think about it, we only have, 2-3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish. That final attempt, Jose Acosta very well could be lining up on that second or first row here. I just think that 24 machine's going to have the tires. He's going to have the speed. He's going to have that upper lane, so he's not going to be trapped in any position. He's going to be able to run that top lane. I really just do think that this 24 finally gets the victory lane here tonight.
And I think a decent amount of these guys out here are on their final set of virtual Goodyear, so this is it for you. Take care of it for maybe a lap or so, then full send it there and get yourself to the front. They're on the Facebook side of things. Scott Martin tuning in to the broadcast, so appreciate you for joining in, and hopefully enjoy the final 10 laps of this race. It's been an awesome one up to this point. Green flag is out. We are underway. The 31, the 06 have a great restart. The number 8 of Ben Tracy missed shifts. I think once more it's going to send them 3 wide. The 47 of Hedrick right there in the middle through 1 and 2.
And here comes Jose Acosta. He tried to go up to the top lane. Couldn't do it that time, so they're going to be 3-4 wide back throughout this field. Jeff Chandler side by side with Daniel Simmons, though, for the race lead, entering 3 and 4.
Oh.
Look at the run by Jose Acosta with the fresher tires. Splits the middle, goes from 5th to 3rd. Now finds himself right in the catbird seat. He's going to try to make a look on Daniel Simmons and Jeff Chandler entering 1.
They're trying to wreck each other for 10th place right now. The 99 had big contact.
He's going to do it!
I think with the 1403 wide for the race lead. More contact. Still dead heat there. They're on the radio talking to each other. They're still running 3 wide here. Really close battle. Jose is trying to make anything happen for his first checkered flag this season. Gets clear of the 31. Now he has Daniel Simmons. Oh, we got a wreck in the back. The 47 of Hedrick and a couple others into the outside wall. And this should produce a caution at a moment.
Yet they're still straight right now. This 5, it's Fred Moreau rather, up and into the wall. Now the question is going to be, can he get down to the pits without causing a yellow flag? We stay green for the time being. It's in the back, no harm, no foul. But Jose Acosta has cleared Daniel Simmons, and he's coming around for 7 laps to go. Can he hang on?
Jeff Chandler not happy with the move Jose Acosta put on there, just because of the thoughts of winning a championship versus the guy coming through. They're 4 wide actually here through 1 and 2. It looks like the 15 Nicholas Moreau is going to lead the top and pass all 3 guys there on the bottom. Hell of a move by Nick Moreau to do that. Now Chad Lang, one of the playoff drivers with Richie Coy on the very bottom of that 4 wide. So they're going to go back to 2 wide momentarily. Oh, contact between the 15 and the 84. Yet another playoff driver involved in some kind of incident, but we stay green once more.
Man, oh man, it's getting good right now at the front. And think about this too, Jose. He used up a lot of tire trying to make those moves happen. Look who is now in second. The guy right there, that's Wayne Grossi in the 7, also on equal tires. Wayne, not a playoff driver anymore, but if he won this race, that would be huge to take it away from the rookie, and he has caught him almost 5 laps to go this time.
Number 12, Jose Grijalva bumps the 4 of Chad Lang, another playoff driver, out of the way, moves him back several spots. So everyone is just moving every which way around this field. We have 5, now 4.5 laps to go in this Las Vegas 200. I hear the 91 now. He's having a little bit of issues with a couple guys in the back. He bumps the 25 of Hollingsworth square in the rear end. He does not budge, though. They remain solid. They go back to the front straightaway once more. And we have now less than 5 to go.
Look at this run by the 19 of Richie Coy and the 23 of Brody Hanna, finding themselves in the top 12. Richie's in the top 5 here. These guys have had abysmal days here, and now coming around with 3.5, almost 3 laps to go, they find themselves trying to scavenge some points here for the day. Richie Coy works to the outside of Daniel Simmons. That's the battle for the 4th spot, but back up at the front, Wayne Grossi all over the 24 of Jose Acosta into 1 and 2.
Got Martin on the chat, rooting on Richie Coy, saying he is moving, and that is exactly correct there. He was out of this talk 20 laps ago. Now he is inside the top 5 and 4th position. The top 2 have really kind of spaced out there. That's the 24 Jose Acosta and the 7 of Wayne Grossi. 7 Grossi we have not talked about. We're actually going to go 3 wide, 4 wide here off the corner exit. A few cars behind them. They still remain 3 and 4 wide here on the back half. Oh, here we go. More contact. Sends Daniel Simmons, Tony Solari, and heavy contact to another playoff driver, Lane Allen in the 14, and his night is done.
Aggressive driving, man. It's late in the going. You have to go for it. I don't blame the 14, but he put him 4 wide. Oh, and Jamie Knopp is involved in this one as well. So another playoff guy there on the bottom. We're taking a look back at the replay. You're seeing right here the 11 trying to go to the inside. Unfortunately, him and Simmons just get hooked and then bounces off the 12, and Lane Allen nowhere to go. Even with the aggressive move he pulled, nothing of his doing. Just tried a little too hard. Wrong place, wrong time. Hard hit for the 11 and the 14 machine. Then here comes Jamie Knopp, gets on that apron, spins right out. I don't believe there was any contact, but if so, it was minimal. No contact for the driver of the 84. That could have been the move that saved his playoff run here. Wow, I cannot believe, Jeremy, the amount of drama we've had here in the last 40 laps or so.
The 84 slide was very reminiscent of that 31 Jeff Chandler early on in turns 4. He did the same thing, hit the apron, slid down, almost hit the wall, did not do so. So almost the same exact style, spin out between the 84 and the 31. And yeah, the drama in that start was just absolutely insane. Every single playoff driver that is in this race had some form of contact, some form of crash, some form of frustration with another driver involved. Just anything in this field was just completely crazy. And this will bring it to our first of 3 green, white, and checkered attempts. As right now we are 1 lap past the finish mark at this point. We're going to take another 1.5 laps of pace laps, and we'll go back to green. So we'll finish this thing at least 5 laps into overtime.
This is going to be a very, very tough choice for the win, Jeremy, because now you look at it. I didn't know if those guys past Jose Acosta who were on fresher tires, I didn't know if they were going to be able to catch the 24 if he got up there. Sure enough, Wayne Grossi proved us wrong. Nicholas Perot almost proved us wrong. And now you look at that top 5, even the top 10. There are only 2 guys with older sets of tires in that top 10, that being Daniel Simmons and also Jeff Chandler. The rest of them all on lap 148 tires. So this is going to be interesting to see which one of these guys can provide the best restart, try to make moves. Remember, the 19 of Richie Coy, this is an opportunity for him to lock himself into the Final Four. You also look at Brody Hanna. This is an opportunity for him to maximize points. I don't know if he can get to the lead per se because he's back in ninth versus guys on fresher tires, but this would be huge for him if he were able to maximize as many points as he had with the terrible race he's had all night long, and now he's turning it into a good one. And then you also have a driver like Justin Diltz, who we only talked about once today. He was doing solid. Now he finds himself inside the top 10, sitting 7th. So many storylines here going into our first overtime of the night, and it's really, really hard here in Germany to pick a winner.
You know, not this caution, but the caution before. These guys were gifted. Richie Coy, Brody Hanna, the 14 up to that point before he got involved in that wreck, he was gifted. Just a great deal amount of positions. Remember, they were 22nd through 25th, respectively, just kind of maintaining and hoping for the best. And then they got some excellent cautions to go on their side. It dropped the 3 guys up in the front back into the field because they did not pit, and now this whole playoff picture that we kind of built up, 30 laps to go in the race, is all gone because everything's all mixed and matched. And so now the guys up in the front of the points still have a decent chance to remain in front of the points. The 31 of Jeff Chandler really just needs to find anything he can because he's second place right now, right? 10 points out of Richie Coy, and right now he's sitting in 10th place.
I mean, there's just so many guys right now inside the top 10 where there's so many storylines. I could give a story about every single one of these guys inside the top 10, and you could root for them. All these guys have had either up and down races. They've had a completely up race. They've had a completely down race. And now you find yourself at a time where this is your time to shine. It is time to literally roll the dice here in Vegas, because that's what Vegas is known for, gambling. Some of these guys took that gamble to come down pit road. Some did not. For Jeff Chandler, it looks like he's going to lose all his money on the blackjack table here tonight, staying out. The same goes for Daniel Simmons, 2 of the guys who had practically dominated this race, about 4 or 5 guys, and now they find themselves on the brink of possibly losing that top 10 run. You look at the 31. We talked about him. Was Jeff Chandler going to lock himself in? Looks like he's going to do it. Looks like he's going to do it. We have a late race yellow. Next thing you know, he stays out. I said, I don't know if that's the right call, but obviously we don't know if he already took his final set of tires. It says on the pit counter that he's pitted 4 times. So I assume he's taken all the tires that he could. If that's the case, then no fault to him. But man, oh man, talk about an up and down night for a lot of these guys here throughout this field, especially our playoff drivers.
100% here. Right now we have 18 viewers live. I think that's the most we've had all night tonight, and it is 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so I appreciate you for staying tuned in for this amazing Las Vegas 250. This is the first of 3 green-white checker attempts. We might need the other 2 the way the race is playing out. Green flag is out. The 24 of Jose gets an excellent restart over the 7 of Wayne Grossi. Almost looks like he had some tire spin. He's still checking up the top half. Richie Coy bumped him a couple times. He's going to lose some spots. He's going to cut down to block anything so he doesn't lose more. Gets to the inside of Wayne Grossi. Now Jose has a 2-car length advantage. The 12 of Joseph Grijalva trying to put himself into P2.
Yeah, and here's the thing about Jose Acosta. We know how aggressive he can be here on the short runs. He's coming around to the white flag. Will he be able to hold on? We got a wreck in the back. Will it bring out the yellow? No, it won't. White flag is out. 1 lap to go. Jose Acosta 1 lap away. If he can hold off Moreau and Grijalva, he's going to be a first-time Mach-1 Performance Cup Series winner.
That was Ben Tracy off of turn 4. Got loose the second time and spun it there off the exit of turn number 4. But Jason, I think your pick is coming correct here off of turn 4 for the final time, for the first time in his FTSR career. Jose Acosta, congratulations on your victory.
What a run here by the Puerto Rican native of Jose Acosta to be able to make moves like that. And you go back to what Jeff Chandler said over the radio, was not very happy with the moves that Jose Acosta. Well, guess what? I hate to tell Jeff, man, but you're racing for a win. Jose's racing for his first ever career FTSR victory. He does not have to pay homage to the playoff guys if he does not want to. He's on fresher tires. He knows he can get past the guys on older tires, and unfortunately, that's just the way it goes here on these late race restarts here. I don't blame the 24 for making those moves there late in the going. That's what put himself into the position to win, and that's why we're going to be talking to him here after post-race.
I love that you mentioned that too. The 24 he has the equal amount of rights to be on the track as anybody else. So he took the advantage of where he could, regardless of who was around him, played no bias to anybody, and picked up the W because so. So congratulations once more to the 24, Jose Acosta, as we're going to go over the unofficial results here tonight for this very exciting Las Vegas 250. Jose brings home the victory. Nicholas Moreau somehow brings it home P2. Joseph Grovehalva is going to finish in third. Richie Coy fourth. Stephen Hollingsworth fifth. Justin Diltson sixth. Wayne Grossi seventh. Brody Hanna eighth. Jeff Chandler ninth. And Daniel Simmons in 10th.
And then you go down the running order, down to 11th. You have Sherwood Williford. Chris Beck with a nice run there for the Flying Tigers Motorsports Machine. He'll come home P12. TJ Bartel, 13th. Danny LaFleur finishes 14th. Chad Lang, 15th. You have Mice. Loomis, Knopp, unfortunate for him after such a strong run. He's 18th. Then you have Ben Tracy. Michael Blackmere, that's your top 20 tonight.
21st, Brian DeBlay. 22nd, Lane Allen. 23rd, Tony Solari, 24th, Fred Moreau, 25th, Ryan Hedrick, 26th, Robert Malikian, 27th, Ryan Chapman, 28th, Joshua Johnson, 29th, Colton Gum, and James Wallace in the 67 finishes last in 30th place. We're going to kick it over to our full screen commercial break, and we'll be back here shortly.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome to the Martin Sports Post-Race Show. We're going to talk to our tonight's top 3 finishers, at least try to. First one in queue, I do believe, is that number 12, Joseph Grijalva. Joseph, welcome to the Nerd TV booth. Congratulations on P3.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Man, what a drive. Started 23rd place. You moved up 20 positions to P3. I know there's a lot of cautions that kind of helped you play that strategy. I think that caution flip-flopped the entire field with about 30-ish rough laps to go. I think you're one of the guys that came down pit road and you just passed a boatload of cars. How did you make it to P3?
I mean, a lot of luck there because there's a lot of contact towards the end of that race coming to the white flag and then during the white flag, the green white checkered. But I mean, it's really the deal is saving the right rear, just managing that tire wear, the tire temp, running, not sliding the car as much. They kind of got me once I got up there in the top 5, and then we restarted after the one of those yellows, and I burned it off, and I ended up spinning the car. I got TJ. I apologize to TJ in the 77. That was my fault, but it's all about managing the tire and a little bit of luck, and then at the end, it's just put down all the way. Everybody was at the same idea. We ain't giving room.
And Joseph, obviously, congratulations, man, on your P3. Great to finally hear you. And now with just 3 races remaining here, you come onto the scene late, but you've already shown straight up speed right out of the gate, man. What do you think your chances are for the next 3 races to try to end this late season here for you with a win?
I mean, I was kind of nervous coming in. I was happy it was on a road course. I consider myself a road course specialist with karting background from back home. Oval has been a kind of a niche thing getting used to, but I feel like it's going pretty good for me. But I mean, racing with these guys and able to keep up and even work my way up to the top 10, it cracked the top 10. It's so hard racing with these guys. They're so strong. They're got insanely high ratings. I've never raced with before. Even getting a top 10 is phenomenal. But hopefully we can keep the momentum going with these last few races and then kick off the season strong next year with these guys.
Yeah, 100%, man. Coming in late and then showing some excellent speed. So I think you got, or at least for the most part, this oval thing down, especially at Las Vegas. So congrats once more on P3 here this evening. Final thoughts before we let you go.
Absolutely. I thank all the drivers, Brody, for welcoming me in so late in their playoffs. I know I'm kind of upsetting some drivers who need some points, but I mean, it is I'm playing the spoiler, I guess. Thank you guys for putting the show on so my family can watch. Dad's out there rooting me all the time. My wife for letting me race here with the she's watching the kids and the baby. And the car sponsor, BKA, it's BKA El Paso Motorsports Kart Racing Club is the club from back home that we race. It's growing so much. They're on Facebook, guys. Search them up real fast. Hit them a like. It gives the club more exposure. Get some racers down there to race some karts with us. If you're ever in the Southwest in El Paso, Texas, hit them up there. It's good stuff. But I thank you everybody and to all the drivers.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate all the kind words, and we're gonna go ahead and let you go. Congrats once more on that P3, and we'll see you next week.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. That was number 12, Joseph Grijalva, and excellent run by him for sure. And now we got the 15 of Nicholas Moreau. Nick, welcome to the podium. Congrats on P2.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Man, what a flip-flop of a night for everybody. You included. You 40, 30 laps to go. You were sitting around 10th place, I think a little bit further back. Actually 20th, if I recall it even. And just a lot of cautions. Regrouped your car. You got some new Goodyear tires on there. Some people try to stay out and not do any pit stops. And what did it take for you to drive through the field to get you back all the way up to P2?
Well, when during the afternoon when you think about how some strategy about the race you have to do on the evening, and this race tonight was not expected at all. So yes, I don't know what to say exactly on that race. It was, I want to stay polite with my words, but it was a kind of poor race, terrible race for me. Um, I got some contact. I don't like I don't like these kind of race because so because I had to drive like other drive. It's not my style, so I got some contact where normally I don't have. Um, I've been aggressive when normally I let some pace. So apologize for a few contacts I made, but it is what it is.
And Nick, obviously, congratulations on your P2, man. Definitely deserving. You were really up there most of the night here. And obviously, you talk about how you don't like to race this way. And talk about that just a little bit. Do you mean like how you don't like that some guys get really overly aggressive and then it kind of leads you to say, all right, man, fine. Gloves are coming off. You want to race like that? I'm going to race you the same way.
It's weird to say exactly what is the problem, but with at Vegas, especially in Vegas, you can have a nice speed on the outside, and if you run open throttle, it works, but it makes also 3 wise for nothing. It's dangerous, but you have I don't know. I don't know how to say exactly because I'm a bit pissed off a bit. So sorry guys, but tonight was not tonight.
Hey man, well, on a good note, you have a new paint scheme on the car. That car looks awesome on the track. Any inspiration behind that paint scheme?
Well, it's just because Fred had some times to paint a new car. That's it. He sent me a new car this week and said, "Voila, there's your new car."
There you go, man. Well, he did a great job. So, on that final note, there, any sponsors you'd love to shout out before we let you go this evening?
Sure, I'll say thanks to Transit, obviously. Go to Miami, Fred for the Pines. Thank you guys for the broadcast, and it's gonna be a hard wait for the league.
Yeah, a lot of to sift through for sure, especially in the back 20, 30 laps of this race. But man, somehow you escaped it all, got it P2. So congrats once more, and we'll catch you next week.
Thank you guys. Sorry for tonight.
Yes, sir. No, you're good, man. You're good. You're least of the worries. And that was number 15, Mr. Nick Moreau, bringing home second place tonight. He apologizes for a second place. That means he probably thought he had the win coming into this event. But it was a good battle nonetheless. And now, time to bring in the winner of tonight's race in the Mach-1 Performance Cup Series Victory Lane. Jose Acosta, welcome to Victory Lane.
Man, it was like about time, huh?
About time, man. You've just been continuing to get faster and faster. We've told you that. And here you are. You're at the peak here, P1. What a crazy race. You made a couple of bold moves to put yourself into position, which we can't blame you. I was listening to some of the chatter and don't see any faults on your end in particular. So just kind of walk us through. I've asked the other two guys already, but kind of walk us through how you did your part to get yourself into first.
Wow, I want to start. I messed up in the beginning. Actually, I forgot there was a state yellow flag, and and I pitted with everybody. I didn't understand why everybody pitted, but I follow everybody. Actually, no, they pitted first, and then there was a second yellow flag, and I pitted, and I forgot about the stage. So that's why I was running in the back. At one point, I only put fuel on my car, and that was like the worst thing that I did because it was feeling terrible. Like it was totally different. I guess I added more weight, plus the tire was actually wear off a little bit, so the car didn't feel the same. But my strategy from there, I was thinking like, well, I just got to save tire because I feel like there's gonna be a late caution. Um, and it did. I pitted, and we went green again, and I was surprised that nobody pitted with like almost 20 to go. And I was like, well, I'm gonna pit. I mean, I remember when I had my old tires, everybody ran me over, and I had to let everybody go. So I'm like, well, it's my turn now. And a bunch of other people got in the pit too with me. I knew I had to go. I mean, I knew I had to go, and because the people behind me that were gonna pass me or stay with me, and maybe at the end had a chance to pass me, and that's why I was passing everybody. Wherever I see a hole, I would take it. Um, and then right at the end with Chandler, I mean, I saw the opening in the middle. I mean, I don't know what else to do. I'm too fast to like slow down. Then I see number 7 behind me, and I'm like, I gotta go. and I did. I mean, and then I hold number 7. He was quick. Wayne Grassy, he was quick. I was surprised. I knew that I had to defend the high side, and I should have been fine. And that's actually what I did. I defended the high lane, and I hold him off.
Jose, I can tell you, I have had you on my notes here the last few weeks of will Jose Acosta finally get to victory lane tonight? Will tonight be the night? It looked like it was going to be at Texas, man, but a mistake on your end, unfortunately, and Richie's just hard racing there in the late going. And you could say that about a lot of races, but now the fact that you finally got this monkey off your back, just a handful of starts into your FTSR career, man, what does this do for you? How does it feel to know now that you have the capability to close one out?
I mean, the only thing that brings me today, the only thing that I can think about is basically, just keep doing what I'm doing, right? Keep practicing, and I mean, just don't think too much about winning too. I mean, I know that has hurt me in the past too. Just thinking about I gotta do, I gotta wear my tire to pass this guy. So basically, just staying back a little bit, mess a little bit with my setup, which today also helped me out a little bit. I actually messed with my tire temperature, and it helped me a lot. So just actually learning, man. I mean, that's basically what's doing all this to me. It's all these victories and stuff like that.
Well, I'm sure this won't be the last time we see you in victory lane here. You're just doing a phenomenal job up to this point, and you still got a couple races left in this season before we go to the winter break. But man, floor is yours. Final thoughts before we do let you go this evening.
Oh man, I just want to give it thanks to the league, for having me here. You guys doing actually do a great job broadcasting like that. And then the wolfpackcrew.com and the Wolfpack Racing Team, and that's it. Oh, I gotta mention and Nicholas and Joseph for second and third, and good race at the end with Quinn Grassi.
There we go, man. Well, appreciate you, and go ahead and celebrate with your team and anyone you want to do that with, and we'll catch you next week here.
Thanks.
Yes, sir. That was Jose Acosta, the driver of the 24, and that the wolfpackcrew.com machine. And Jason, you had him on the list there on the final restart. You said that's my man, and he did it.
Yeah, and I'm not fibbing either when I say that every week. I mean, if you go to my Google Docs sheet for my notes, I literally have written down. I said, can Jose Acosta finally break through? I've been saying that now for weeks, man. I mean, you look back. I mean, this guy should have what 3, 4, make it 5 wins now, and this is only his first one. You go back, Darlington could have won, kept putting himself on the wall. You go back to Bristol, pushed too hard, wrecked himself. Texas choked the win away. Richie got there, and unfortunately some contact there late in the going. And just so many others. You go back to Kansas too, had a strong run, wrecked out about halfway earlier on in the race. And then tonight, finally able to close one out. Good job for Jose. But it just goes to show you that these 8 guys in the playoffs will do anything it takes, and they will have tempers boil over. We heard Brody Hanna saying why we racing so hard this early. Obviously, had some contact early on. Jeff Chandler not very happy either on the radio with Jose's moves, saying, come on and whatnot. It's crunch time, man. It's the playoffs. These guys in the round of 8, it is time for them to show them who's best. For these 16 guys who enter the playoffs, only 4 can make it. And remember, only 1 can be champion by the end of this. And so far, it looks like we're going to be having ourselves a pretty busy and hectic next couple weeks.
You said that perfectly. It's late in the postseason, and you got to do what you got to do, right? So things like this tend to happen. They tend to boil over a little bit more, and in all these late race restarts, you have to do what you got to do to get any spot on the track. And like we talked about, I think 23 laps prior when it started happening and unfolding in front of us. It's just you have the same amount of equal rights on the track as anybody else on the track. It doesn't matter if you're on the lead lap, multiple laps down. If you think you're in contention of passing somebody or something, regardless of points, you're going to do it. You're on the track. You're not here to finish second and third. You're here to finish first, and that showed here this evening, late in the going. But we're going to bring this thing down to a close. First, Dustin Loxton. I don't know if you have a camera on tonight. I appreciate you behind the camera scenes, leading our crew. Do a hell of a job, and hopefully some awesome things to come up with your sim rig as we're getting that thing upgraded finally. So hopefully 2024 is even better. Full Throttle Sim Racing. Appreciate you letting us do this for 2 years. Mach-1 Performance Series especially. Every single Monday night here. So visit them at FTSR.net to keep update, especially tonight. All the points and all the drama is going to unfold on their website, so stay tuned there at FTSR.net. Mach-1 Performance, the Monday night series sponsor, the race car fabrication shop that's produced champions and winners of all sorts of racing divisions. Find them at Facebook at facebook.com/Mach-1 Performance. Sim Racing Points is your all-inclusive league points management system that allows you to completely track your league stats and more with one upload of the export. Find them at simracingpoints.com. Martin Sports, top quality apparel and gloves to make you look stylish and feel comfortable. See the whole apparel lineup at martinsports.gg. iRacing iFlag, get all of your notifications just a fraction of the second faster without leaving your focus from the racing action, and find them at iRacingIFlag.com. The Butt Kicker, the ultimate feel from your sim car into your seat of whatever you're sitting in, with their haptic response system unit. So if you're kind of upgrading your sim rig to the fullest extent, head over to thebuttkicker.com. Team Watson Racing Setups, quality professional built setups for all your asphalt oval needs. Find them at teamwatsonracing.com. Dusty Pete's Gifts and Collectibles, hobby shop with a whole lot more. So if collecting is the game, Dusty Pete's is the name. Find them at dustypete's.com. And lastly, Roasted Gems, premium coffee beans roasted just for you. Start your day the right way with coffee from Roasted Gems. And that's it, guys. Catch us tomorrow night live, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central for the RSR Next Gen Cup Series race, as they're going to tackle the same track that they did here tonight at Las Vegas. So then until then, stay safe. Get your nerd on.